Garfield and Friends.
We're ready to party.
We're ready to party. We're ready.
I hope you bring lots of spaghetti.
I'm scared. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and Friends. Dancing,
Fiesta,
romancing,
siesta,
samba,
la bamba. Ay caramba, disguises, surprises, and pies of all sizes.
Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and Friends. Come on in, it's time to party with Garfield and Friends. Garfield and Friends.
And pay attention. There'll be a test at the end.
Friars Roast, and this year I wrote about Gilbert Gottfried's take on the aristocrats.
Gilbert Gottfried did it at the You Hefner roast. It was the funniest fucking joke ever.
This roast was happening not even 3 weeks after September 11th, so there was a big discussion about what was right in terms of taste.
There hadn't been any comedy in New York. It was very fresh. We were faced with having to put up a show, put on tuxedos, get Hugh Hefner and his pussy posse on a plane. It wasn't an easy sell, but we got him to do it. To his credit, we raised $500,000 for charity, for 9/11 related charities. People needed a laugh, the release.
Everybody was pulling back. Everybody was really sort of being careful.
Rob Schneider went on first. He was doing great, then he missed a few, and a couple jokes didn't work, and I went up to the mic and I said, Rob, hasn't there been enough bombing in this city?
And here comes Gilbert, and he just went for broke. It was, it was unbelievable.
Gilbert Gottfried took the mic, took the room over.
He said he was trying to get a direct flight to Los Angeles.
He was nervous because his plane had a connection on the way home at the Empire State Building.
That was when the crowd turned. They started booing him. There was a guy in the audience shouting, too soon, too soon. The crowd was murmuring, and he said, okay.
A man, a talent agent is sitting in his office. A family walks in, man, woman, their 2 kids and their little dog. That talent agent goes, what kind of an act do you do?
It was like he had made this conscious decision, okay, I can't push the envelope of taste in terms of what happened in September, so I'm going to push it in a completely different direction.
It was arguably the dirtiest roast the Friars had ever done.
The father starts fucking his wife. The wife starts jerking off the son. The son starts going down on the sister. The sister starts fingering the dog's asshole.
Just grabbed him by the throat. He just attacked.
Then the son starts blowing his father. You want me to start at the beginning? If you missed any portion, I'll repeat it.
There was this weird buzz that came, and you could see the guys up on the dais were looking at each other, and they had this look of familiarity in their eyes. They were all sort of saying, where is he going to take this thing?
Then the daughter starts licking out the father's asshole. Then the father shits on the floor. The mother shits on the floor. The dog pisses and shits on the floor. They all jump down into the shit and piss and cum. And they start fucking and sucking each other. And then they take a bow. And the talent agent says, I'll wait till you're ready.
I am sitting at a table of all comics. We're on the floor.
They might have to clean this up for TV.
I was laughing because he just was going so big with it, which I can't imagine Gilbert Gottfried doing.
It was probably one of the best single tellings of a joke I've ever heard.
Now, where was I? Oh, yes. The son is licking out his father's asshole.
I almost died because I couldn't catch my breath laughing.
They fucking suck each other and they take a bow. And the talent agent, did you miss any portion of this? The talent agent says, well, that's an interesting act, which is kind of an understatement.
The laugh was so deep and cathartic that it was like people were coughing up pieces of lung. It was amazing. And a lot of these people who are watching him or up on the dais, they're all in comedy. And it was as if he had united everybody in that one moment because he told something that they all knew and they all had some sort of handle on it, and he just focused it and did it. He clearly had impressed a lot of people in the room.
Now,
he pulled this thing out and did it so well and with such fearlessness.
I hate to end this on a really sentimental note.
There was a sound in the audience that you really knew that there was something was happening here that was outside my grasp and, you know, anyone else who wasn't a total comedy veteran.
Again, not a great joke so far as I'm concerned. On the other hand, hear Gilbert Garfield tell a joke like that, it's a Picasso.
The joke I didn't even care about anymore. I just wanted to see how far he would take it and when he would not stop saying fucking and sucking and fucking. And
watching him go through his apoplectic, rhythmic incantation of the whole thing sort of takes over. The fact that he is saying these particular words almost doesn't matter.
He says, what do you call yourself? And they go, the aristocrats.
Oh!
It's just a joke.
Help!
It's as shocking as the first time you heard it, isn't it?
Don't touch me.
Is that the joke as you remember?
Well, I didn't hear it that way. This is so much worse.
Garfield, what are you trying to tell me? Oh, charades? I love charades. Let's see. First word. Me. No, you. Your. First word is your. Your leg. My leg. Standing? Standing in something. Third word. I. Sounds like I. By. Shy. Sky. My. Third word is my. Fourth word. Eating. Food. You're standing in my food. You're standing in my food. I got it! That was great! Now it's my turn. This is a movie title, okay? 5 words.
A man walks into his son's room. He goes, son, you keep masturbating, you're gonna go blind. The son goes, over here, Dad. And you can put his name in wherever you want. A man gets a phone call. He finds out his wife's been in a bad car accident. He rushes to the hospital. The doctor said, look, I've got bad news. It was a very bad accident. Your wife will be crippled from the neck down. You'll have to feed her. You'll have to bathe her. You'll have to clear her out every passage. You're gonna have to change her because she has no control over her bladder or bowels. And the man starts crying hysterically, going, this is horrible. And the doctor says, I'm just f***ing with you. She's dead. Southern sheriff is driving along. He sees a naked man tied to a tree. He goes up to him. He goes, what happened to you? He goes, well, I was driving in my car. I picked up a hitchhiker. He pulled a gun on me. He stole my car. He stole my money and clothes and left me tied to the tree. So the Southern sheriff opens his pants and goes, boy, this ain't your lucky day. A woman is lying in a coma in the hospital. The nurse is watching her. She starts washing her vagina. The woman starts moaning. So she's it's even harder. The woman's moaning and biting her lip. She runs outside, tells the doctor. The doctor pulls the husband over and goes, look, I don't know if this'll work, but it might help if you performed oral sex with your wife. So he climbs into bed, they pull the curtain shut. All of a sudden they hear a bell ring and they see it's a flat line. They go inside and the woman's dead. And they say to the husband, what happened? And the husband says, I don't know, I think she choked.
Audible.com presents 50 Shades of Grey, the erotic best-selling novel read by Gilbert Garfield.
My inner goddess has stopped dancing and is staring too, open-mouthed and drooling slightly.
Hear it the way it was meant to be heard.
Keep still, he orders, and slowly he inserts his thumb inside me, rotating it around and around. stroking the front wall of my vagina. No fisting, you say? Anything else you object to? I agree to the fisting, but I'd really like to claim your ass.
Famed voice actor Gilbert Gottfried gives a reading that can only be described as sensual.
Holy fuck, is this wrong? But holy hell, is it erotic?
Let Christian Grey seduce you over and over again through the voice of Gilbert Gottfried.
But when he hits my clitoris, I cry out loudly. Oh, please, I groan. Quiet, he orders, not taking his eyes off mine. He scrunches my panties in his hand, holds them up to his nose, and inhales deeply. His hands reach around and touch my breasts, and my nipples pucker at his touch.
Like to try it, kitty? It combines eating and TV watching.
2 of my 3 favorite activities. Work sleeping in there and I'm set for life.
With Taste-O-Vision, whatever they're enjoying on TV, you will experience.
Good. Let's watch something.
Hey, guess who's back, motherfuckers? It's me. It's Davey Scorsese. We had Nitro coming in with a 9-month subscription. Our Twitch baby shall be named Garfield. Gilbert Garfield. We got Death Destroyer. Thank you for the follow, my homie. We got Strawberry Short Delph in here with the, oh yeah. And also gifting a sub to the Juffler. Thank you, Strawberry Short Delph. I have something for you right here. You dropped this. Space Creep rated. Hey, thanks for the raid, Space Creep. Sorry, I had to have my long, drawn-out intro because I thought it was pretty fucking dope myself. Sailor V in the place to be. Nitro coming with the Davey head pat emote. Yes, I took Nilbog's creation, and I'm claiming it as my own because you search Davey Scorsese on Google, that's like the second image that comes up. So if Nilbog's gonna troll me with the shit, I'm gonna fucking own it. So, yeah. Whoop whoop! Whoop whoop! Alright, the sound alerts are working. Good, good. Strawberry Short Delph. Thank you for the whoops, my friend. Yeah, so where the fuck have I been, huh? I've been out shit in my personal life. I made a post, if you follow me on Facebook, last Friday morning. My grandma fell and broke her hip in 3 places. So I spent most of Friday evening at the hospital, with her. Got up at fucking 7 a.m. Saturday morning. for her surgery. They put like a steel rod to kind of, keep her together. And I forgot that I'd signed up to work 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. that day. So I was running on about 3 hours of sleep on Saturday, and I've spent like the rest of the week fucking catching up on that sleep. So yeah. But I'm put this little shindig together, a Midnight Macabre. It's, as I said on my Instagram post and my promo for this quite possibly might be the dumbest thing that I've ever covered so far. But it also has some very disturbing, unsettling, just fucked up elements to it as well. It's an ARG. If you're not sure what an ARG is, it's an alternate reality game with elements of looks mildly terrifying. Yes, just you wait, Sailor V. I'm not usually ARGs are in like promotion of something. I'm a big Nine Inch Nails fan. They did an ARG for their album Year Zero that I was heavily involved in. I've completely missed like this whole fucking thing. It's still going on, but I missed like the whole first season to it. So what I'm going to do is play like the videos that have been released with no context, because I want everybody to be just as confused as I was when I watched through this fucking thing. And then I have a video ready to kind of piece it all together once you're done scratching your heads, wondering what the fuck this is. Because I feel it's best to experience it without context to really get like, the full effect. But yes, it's called Gilbert not Gottfried, no. No. Gilbert Garfield is what it's called. And it's exactly what you think it is. Somebody, his Full Metal Alchemist, Garfield, the beloved Garfield, and the dead comedian Gilbert Gottfried, and smacked them together, mashed them into this horrifying entity that was supposedly made before Garfield and Friends, the cartoon. So I'm going to hop right into it. We're going to see what the fuck this is about. Buckle in. You'll never see anything like this. So in 2020, my friend Austin began a capstone project for grad school. His assignment was to build a workable archive of old Garfield broadcasts for an upcoming CBS streaming platform. After processing thousands of reels, he discovered something strange. The 1987 broadcast reel of Garfield Goes Hollywood contained a few extra feet of film. This is the only known copy of the mysterious broadcast titled Gilbert Garfield Crossover. And there it is, the VHS from '87. The original reel was severely damaged, only a few traces of the broadcast remain. As soon as I manage to salvage anything viewable, I'll post it on this channel. And he did. Here's the first clip.
So I was watching this movie with Boris Karloff. In it, he tells a story, and he tells about how only a disgusting Italian would invent lasagna. And the story goes, this old Italian...
So right off the bat, Odie gets fucking capped by this fucking alien with, I'm assuming that's a ball sack hanging down there. I might get TOS'd on this, I don't know. The alien's saying something in Italian to Garfield, and I think you're under arrest. Yeah, so right off the bat, you're like, what the fuck is this? So let's keep going.
Italian grandma, which they call Nona, was so ashamed her pasta was only a big rectangle, and she tried to hide it with mozzarella, but it just looked like a Caucasian
Oh, and John Arbuckle's been brutally murdered.
melty flesh.
I am
So she digs through her disgusting Italian jar for the only liquid.
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent ya.
And Mr. Twister's coming in with the raid. We got Fizzy coming in here. What up, Fizzy? We got Murder Cycle. We got Juggalo Dundee. Welcome in. I just started Gilbert Garfield. You missed Odie getting capped. John Arbuckle has been brutally murdered somehow. And Garfield, for some reason, has the face of Gilbert Gottfried. And he's been arrested by an Italian-speaking alien. That's pretty much you're up to speed so far.
tomato sauce. And now keep in mind, most of what I know of the Italian culture comes from the great homosexual comedian Chico Marx of the Marx Brothers family. And he was Jewish, not a real Italian.
Y'all, the noises are disturbing as all hell.
Reminds me of the golden age of Hollywood, where you could stick anything up your ass and no one would ask the wiser question.
You just wait.
As long as the studio heads had your back.
So, like, I'm kind of piecing shit together. I know most of what's going on because this, for the first time, I watched this ahead of time. But Garfield got arrested for a crime he hasn't committed yet. Actually, Gilbert and Odie will kill their owner, John Arbuckle. So the reason Odie got capped is apparently he had as much to do with this murder as Gilbert Garfield here.
Being arrested for a future crime reminds me of the precogs from the Steven Spielberg 2002 adaptation of Minority Report, which is not about a Japanese newspaper. Of course, I know all of this because of my third eye that can see into the future, and my fourth eye in my asshole that can see the past.
What the fuck? You don't like the fourth eye, Sailor V? Yeah, I sent this to Mr. Twister because I was like, I'm not sure if this is something I should cover or you should cover. So yes, apparently Gilbert Garfield has a third eye that he can use to see into the future, and a fourth eye in his asshole that he can use to see into the past.
I'm hungry. Ground veal. Ground veal. Ground veal. Ground veal.
Just came back with cheese to see eyeball, asshole, and now Garfield stuffing his fat face with ground veal. But listen to this catchy tune.
Ground veal.
This is why the alien's pressing him to be swift.
I'm an anomaly. Well, I feel like a dick. Philip.
I was going to go back to bed, and this is going to be what I remember. Yes, sweet dreams, Sailor V. So obviously it's the biblical plagues of Egypt.
Come in.
You gotta love the live, laugh, love sign. I mean, come on. At least he's a man of class, right? And isn't that Lyman, John's old, what was his roommate, or was it his neighbor? I can't remember.
Moses.
Pharaoh Gilbert Garfield, you've doomed the Jewish people to suffering and slavery.
Sorry, why is that line so fucking funny to me? Pharaoh Gilbert Garfield, you've doomed the Jewish people into suffering and slavery. Alright, I'll continue. I forgot how fucking fucked up and hilarious this is. Since he's melting in the background as well. Yes, Armed and Irish.
Being notoriously frugal, I not only enjoy free hotel shampoos, but free manual labor when building my great pyramids of Giza.
Have the God of Abraham's plagues not moved you? Your own firstborn is dead just this morning.
Well, the good news is Michael Jackson won't try to molest him anymore.
Okay.
Humor?
Yeah,
A
what
time
about
like
GTS?
this, brother? Is it not too soon?
When you perceive time non-linear, there is no such thing as too soon or too late. There are only two words. Baked Z. I must go.
It is very fucking R-worded, Mr. Twister. You're not wrong. Oh, but I got lots of enjoyment out of this ARG series.
John Arbuckle, why can't I stop seeing? John, why can't I stop seeing? John, just poke my eyes out like you're Mo Howard.
Hey, Monday, you spaghetti. John Arbuckle, Jack Benny. Shipped over your body to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. It's Gilbert Garfield. Yeah, I'm Gilbert.
I'm Gilbert Garfield.
Okay, but let me tell you, I've been analyzing this shit all week long, and that song has been stuck in my fucking head all week. Gilbert Garfield. I gotta play it one more time. I'm sorry. That shit jams. It's a bop. All right. So yeah, let's go.
Hey, Monday, you spaghetti. John Arbuckle, Jack Benny. Shipped over your body to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. It's Gilbert Garfield. Yeah, I'm Gilbert.
I'm Gilbert Garfield.
Now that Ferrone plays a big, huge part in this. Why did that in part sound like Amoral touched it? Right. That Ferrone plays a huge part in this whole thing. So remember that name, Ferrone. I find myself more internally disturbed that I like this. Oh yeah, I've accepted a long time ago that I got more than a few screws loose because yes, I love the shit out of this whole thing. All right, so here's the conclusion to the whole thing, right? The Gilbert Garfield Recovery Project is officially on hold. I've reached the end of the salvageable footage my friend Austin gave me. I'm happy we preserved some lost media, but I've been sleeping terribly this past month. Horrible nightmares I can barely remember. The idea of a chimeric cartoon of Garfield and Gilbert Gottfried was novel at first, but now this isn't fun anymore. I will not be investigating the address found in clip 4. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm sorry. Thanks for... Now, I noticed that joining briefly turns into... God, how do I probably won't be able to capture it. But joining turns into John. So, a little context. This video was mysteriously uploaded to his account after he said that he was done, right? As you can see, it says, "You've lost your appetite." Obviously, that's Odie. I'll just leave everybody as confused as I was when I first watched this shit. We'll get to the analysis later.
Hey, what's he doing?
So this is Max, who has been doing this whole thing. This happened shortly afterwards as well. There's a knock on the door.
Fuck.
The most disturbing thing to me is he puts his finger in that and tastes it. I thought it was piss, but he says it's wine.
What the hell? Hello?
Look, he runs down the steps and somehow he's right back to where he started. Because there's the fucking Garfield toy and the glass. What the hell? I'm fine, but this is weird. Yeah, it's like PT, exactly. After the No Longer Thirsty video and this gift, I think I'm going to ask my stepdad to go to the address from clip 4. So here's what his stepdad finds. Gotta taste it, bro.
I don't know if these record sound, but this was the address, and it looks, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, no, I guess not.
Baba Booey, what up, Slime? That's near you, Nitro? Oh, shit. Oh, yes, that always has to bring up that he's from California. That Nitro. A stained glass window of some sort. See what's at that location. Now that rock says something.
Ashes.
That's right, rise from the ashes. Like the phoenix. Because wasn't that the god of Ra in that when Garfield Pharaoh was rising up to the sun? That's what I thought. Some butt plugs, some children's shoes, and a SD card. Okay. So what the hell's on the SD card from Stepdad? Now I want to point out that during all of these video uploads, there was a Twitter account running and simultaneously with these uploads that explained a whole lot more. I was gonna pull up the tweets and shit, but that Twitter account is gone. It's no longer exists, and that ties in with the whole thing, which I'm getting ahead of myself. But like I said, I found a video that kind of shows everything pieced together after we just take the ride. But there is a lot more context than you think. So just keep that in mind. Oh, this isn't even the worst SD card he gets, Baba Booey. Just you wait. So there's Gilbert Garfield, obviously. And a file that he's not quite sure what it is. Obviously it turned out to be a ROM because he figured out how to open it. So now there's a video game. There's Gilbert's monologue from the Aristocats. Or Aristocrats, sorry. see what happens. More loud noises. I couldn't imagine like any kind of hallucinogens or anything like that while watching this. Holy shit, the nightmares. Could you imagine? That music though. Multiple people suggested entering the Konami code. That great account. Feels like Brentley's post on TikTok. Another account that no longer exists, by the way. I tried to find it. It's gone. Brentley Helpless. I think I know. Lasagna tastes better if someone else is paying for it. That's another Gilbert Garfield joke. You die. It seems anywhere I went in this level, I died. Then I remembered this tweet I received about a Super Mario 3 secret. Crouch for a long time. Oh yeah, anybody who played Mario 3 knows about that. I love the crouch though. Yeah, Nermal's looking pretty fucked up. Here's where things take a wild turn. Augustus C, Gilbert G, and Ronald R. Does anybody know who all three of those people are? Justice for Nermal, that's right. I'm currently unable to revisit level 1. If the game is rewriting its own code, I might tweet out any further choices before I finish a level. So now we went to part 3 here. What do you want? And he goes death, and the chief goes death, but it's first. Seems nonsensical, but like I said, it'll all come together. Oh, there's one sad-looking cloud. Missile or kicks. Oh, he wants the kicks. Shout out 210 kicks. So we got AC, the Unchosen Laser, GGRR. Come from beyond the veil. So that's Gilbert Godfrey. I look like Hugh Hefner's balls. What a boss fight. Okay, so I'll give a little tip to this. I guess in that No Longer Thirsty video that was uploaded to this guy's account, there was a
Be sure and tell them Large Marge.
We got Twixy Cat coming in with the raid. How y'all doing? Thanks. Welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in. We're going over a very disturbing, weird, and pretty stupid ARG called Gilbert Garfield. What up, Bunga? What up, Let Mama? Welcome in, everybody. Twix and Cat, thank you for the raid. Shout out to Twix and Cat. Yes, Eyes of Ra everywhere. Rebelgasm, how you doing? I'll give you a shout out, Twix and Cat. I'll give you a shout out here. If you're not following Twix and Cat, please do. Great channel, great people. Much love to the sewer crew. So intrigued by this. Oh, this whole ARG, it's a trip. It's a trip. But yes, this website, FaroneTruth.com, flashed in that mysterious video that was uploaded to this dude's channel. And I guess people had to find a password to access some of it. Like I said, I missed out on a lot of this stuff because a lot of the shit's no longer available, and you'll find out why. But here's the history of the Farone Productions, which is the production behind Gilbert Garfield and many other weird-ass cartoons. There are no Davey Scorsese productions, but let's take a look.
Farahone Productions was founded in 1903, but the ideas at its core have been around for centuries. Emerging on the scene in Italy as a sponsor for Italian cyclist Rodolfo Muller during the first Tour de France, Foglia del Farone began putting on plays at the Teatro Anatomico. Their production of Uomo e Superuomo by Giorgiano Bernardino Sia opened to rave reviews. He was friends with Francis Galton, but the enlightened former Empire of Rome and the humanitarian ideal of imperial peace. Pax Romana. Pax Augusta. Which, today when we team up with talented comedians, humanity, and
If you
better.
don't know what that means, it's pretty much a fascist slogan. Okay, now another thing, I'm going to explain this because I had no idea what the fuck was going on when I watched it, so I'm going to throw you a little bone here. Also adding his name to the mix is someone named Greg Truth, who popped up at some point during this ARG, trying to expose this Farone Productions. But he's a little, well, he's kind of slow. You'll see he's a big fan of Family Guy, and he's not the brightest bulb in the box. But he is very unhinged and very set on conspiracy theories. But yeah, we'll see. Apparently, today I will be fixing my car and doing all the crap the Farone back mechanic did to my car. I took it in for a simple fix, oil leak. They insisted on fucking with my car, the parking brake. I said, I don't need you to fix my brake, I need you to fix the oil. Idiot did not care, too busy cashing his big pizza check from Italy. Fuck him. So, let's see what happens here. Here we got Greg Truth, looking a little bit like Trailer Park Cinderella, former member of the Thuggalo Show. Except for he sounds like, definitely sounds like a pro wrestler.
Yeah! Oh, time for a victory smoke. That's how we do it, Greg Truth. We're up and running. They can't keep an old dog down.
And he also loves McDonald's, I forgot to tell you that. I find myself singularly obsessed with this project. With more of the Farone website unveiled, the iceberg we're revealing has become a fixation of mine. So we're back to Greg now. Or not Greg, Max. Greg, he's no different than most of us. Greg Truth. By pushing forward, I've stumbled off a cliff. I've embraced the side effects. Plummeting. Am I a martyr or just vain? I must continue even if it hurts me.
What do you call it? I'm Gilbert.
I've developed lactose intolerance. Ironically, I cannot eat lasagna anymore. That flashed so fast without shitting myself. I think that's called entering your 30s, my dude. And now we're on the 4th level of this Gilbert Garfield's week. Generally, I think influence is used as a nice word for plagiarism. So now it's become like a Final Fantasy type game. Yeah, the Eye of Ra symbol, right? You see it in a lot of places. So now Odie and Gilbert are part of the party. These humanoid creatures. Welcome to USA News. Hey, Gilbert Garfield and friends. Do you have trouble with shit sticking to your fur, rabbit? No. I will wipe my ass with your body. Now the rabbit's proud. Right, GTS. Well, the whole philosophy behind this Ferrone Productions is the Pax Augusta and Pax Romana. So yeah, something's going on. You are the pig I've been fucking. Odie has a battle axe now. What the fuck is that thing? Holy shit, look at that battle axe. What the fuck? If I had a game like this when I was playing NES when I was a kid, I would never leave my room. I'd be fucking traumatized by the nightmares and shit. Like, holy fuck. Oh, those were some butt cheeks, weren't they? I am John Bus. Next stop, hell. Oh my god, John Arbuckle's a bus now. GTS is getting in deep. And those butt cheeks are in this ARG. Oh, Gilbert Godfrey killed it with the time beam, looking like Hugh Hefner's balls and shit. The East Flying Egg Arcade Wonders. So we're going to the Flying Egg. The abandoned lot was a farm, and almost everyone during Pax Romana was a farmer. Yeah. Now they're at a Flying Egg. A direct flight. They said I have to stop at the Empire State Building first. So that was a joke that Gilbert Gottfried made, I think like a week after 9/11, and he got fucking booed almost out of the building. That's when he recovered with the aristocrats joke. But yeah, that's what started the whole too soon thing, was Gilbert Gottfried making that joke about not making a flight because it connects to the Empire State Building first, which I thought was hilarious. But I guess at the time, I can see why people were a little about it, you know. Glad I took the bus. I never learned how to drive. I can't do it. Gilbert Gottfried voice, I'm sorry. Approaching the nexus of all of this means something. What the fuck? What the hell is that? Have you come to save me, the thief man? so much for that. He needs the giant corkscrew. What can you do? Plus, you look like Krang. You can't trust a giant crane. Have you not seen Ninja Turtles? It's time for temperature. Oh. Is that normal? So this is Greg Truth again, coming to LA to investigate Ferroni Productions.
Burger. I want to see how you do it out here in LA. Oh, two-burger. Oh, I love LA. This is my first time in LA, and I'm looking for Ferroni. It's a production studio. But I don't see a lot of cameras around or cartoons.
Strictly a bowling center.
Right, but where do you keep the cartoon? Los Angeles, right? This is where they make Family Guy.
Yeah, that's our location, but we're a bowling center.
Oh, yes. Obviously, yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
No problem. I mean, I wish I could help more.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy is a wrestler.
Do you have a payphone? I don't want to use my hotline minutes.
I wish Night Breeze. Oh man, I just saw it. Imagine Night Breeze watching this abomination of Garfield. Holy shit. Have to link her to the VOD.
George, please leave a message at the tone.
Howdy there, son. It's me. It's your pop. Listen, I actually happen to be in the area. I got an extra burger here.
Thanks, Bunga. Yeah, I was gone for a little bit because my grandma fell and broke her hip in 3 places last Friday. So I spent most of Friday evening and then all of Saturday morning with her. She had surgery, to get a steel rod put in where she had the fracture. And I forgot I signed up to work 12 hours that same day, so I was running on about 3 hours of sleep Saturday. And I've spent the rest of this week kind of recovering from that. Just kind of dealing with some things, that comes with a loved one going to the hospital. Yeah, the skateboarding grandma. And, I think I'm in a better headspace now. And plus I've gotten enough sleep that I can stream. I was getting up, going to work, coming home, going to bed pretty much. But now I'm back on my normal sleep schedule. Grandma's doing okay. Unfortunately, they took her to a nursing home for her rehab. As she learns how to walk on the hip again, because she was in bad shape before this happened. She was very weak. You had to help her get up, help her when she sat down, and just everybody in my family, none of us can be with her 24/7. She needs someone to be there to take care of her. So sadly, we had to have her go to a nursing home for that. But we're hoping that she'll be able to get out of there once, her rehabs, she gets through it. But yeah, it was very sad sending her. I mean, I didn't make the decision, obviously, but it's just very sad seeing, her go to a nursing home. But, yeah. But hopefully she'll get through it and, get better and, be able to walk without too many complications. But yeah, I hate nursing homes. Yeah, I feel it. But yeah, let's get back to Greg Truth's investigation here.
Well, son, just give me a call back on the hotline number and, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing on Twix, for sure.
Sorry about that. That's quite alright there, brother. I mean, at least you picked up the phone with a raid. A lot of people these days don't seem to do that. They make all kinds of crap, kids' cartoons with Satan in them and shit like that, sick. Yeah. Put all this sick shit in the kids' cartoon.
Who's in charge?
3 a.m., yeah. Oh, absolutely. So this guy, I feel, is either a wrestler or a juggalo, by the way. Just the way he talks.
Who's sending you here?
Well, nobody sends me anywhere, you know, I'm on my own accord. Nobody has this dog on a leash.
Oh, what's the person's name?
Well, it would probably be under a name like, Ferrari or Romano.
Oh, not too sure.
You're not too sure, oh.
I don't know why he's going to a massage parlor. Is he trying to find Deshaun Watson
I'm
or
looking
what?
for a production studio, and everyone in this town doesn't seem to want to help me. They're a little Italian outfit. This is their website. All kinds of these satanic crap. You seem like a well-traveled gal, you know. So maybe you've seen some guys coming in here with, you know, pizza stains on their tracksuits, using a toothpick. Anybody like that come in here? Huh?
Because that's all Italians use toothpicks.
Does that ring a bell?
Like Strong Bad? A little bit like Strong Bad. I was gonna say, he's definitely a wrestler.
I've been an investigator. I'm looking for Ferrone Productions.
Yeah, well, that's not what this is. Can you stop doing that?
Really? Because it looks like you got a lot of cameras.
You're not really supposed to film back here.
Oh,
You're just
yeah.
supposed to stand
You ever film anything for the Italian?
Serious, stop.
Oh,
Stop.
you're a feisty boy, huh?
Seriously, stop fucking putting it in my face.
I'll put my camera wherever I damn well please.
That doesn't mean anything. You're on private property. And you're filming.
EZA.
In a
You know
place
what
where you're
that
supposed to have any... Do you want to come in and sit down or leave? Well, what do you want to do?
Oh, what? So you can have the cops come by?
Seriously.
Yeah, why don't you...
Dude.
Yeah,
So this is kind of sad right here. I'm assuming this is his son's apartment that he tried to call earlier. He left him the extra McDonald's cheeseburger. What a dad. Like, what a good guy. Piece of shit son won't even answer the door for him? Really? And so now we're back to the final level of Gilbert Garfield's week. My girlfriend told me to kiss her where it smells, so we went to New Jersey. Oh, is Sailor V still on? It begins with fragmentation. Before the process of ligation, the transfection will spread. Ferrone's doctors scream for success. And Jay does be stinky though. I've never been to New Jersey, but I've heard. And the years piled on. July gave birth to August. Happy birthday, Gilbert. Happy birthday, Ronnie. Happy birthday, Augie. So I don't know if anybody kind of understood that. I'll let you speculate for now because, like I said, there is kind of an explanation coming after all this. But, yeah. It's pretty interesting. The community following me has found the password for the elusive wine tour page on FerroneTruth.com. It's the prettiest dumpster fire, gorgeous shithole ever. What, Jersey? So yeah, this Luna, cat girl Luna69 discovered this password. Because see, I don't have the time. Like, I used to, like, be deep into these ARGs, but I don't have the time to figure shit out like this. So this is why I like these YouTube videos that kind of condense everything. So this Ferrone website, the password takes you here. Which the Ferrone website is not the same now either, by the way.
This is Ferrone 1.
So the password was all the Roman numerals at the beginning of each of those levels. If you add them up, it's like a number like 5838 or something like that, and that was the password. I don't know if the number 5838 has any meaning, but that's what it was. And here's the Ferrone production vineyard, or maybe it's the studio, but obviously it looks like looks like it's seen better days. I have no idea what that means. GPS.
Bursting bushel of grapes.
This section of the back lot, everything looks slightly foreign, and deliberately so. This is Little Europe.
Nothing like biting into a grape.
Yeah, it's a ghost town. Like, what the hell happened to the Ferrone Studios?
After your experience, head to the commissary. Catch a show. Folks come from far and wide for a little taste of Little Italy.
There's Gilbert painted on the wall. Juggle with the GoPro coming in with a 2 scoops of whoops, whoop whoop. Antibacterial. So yeah, what the hell happened to Ferrone Studios? And see, I didn't catch any of that. Like, I don't have the eagle eye that I used to, because this says the wine tour video revealed the name of someone associated with Ferrone Productions. I didn't see any of that shit. Yeah, thanks, Juggle with the GoPro. I haven't been on since like last Monday, but I'm back now, and I'm better than ever. Maybe, I don't know. This is pretty fucked up shit that I've been watching so far. Oh, the name on the door. Duh. Raphael Kosak. Or Kosaks. Wasn't long before the community found him online. Oh, shit. Hey, you little goblin online friends have been giving me shit. Took me a while to find you. Tell them to stop. Sorry about pestering you. I've been looking at this Ferrone Productions company. Fuck you and fuck the Ferrone fucks. Give me your number, you milksop. Then I'm blocking you. Okay. And he gave him his number. And then he blocked him.
Tell you little freak goblin friends to leave me the fuck alone. I'm not talking to you about Ferrone, alright? It was a million fucking years ago. Stop clogging up my hotmail. Leave me the fuck alone, you freaks.
I've gotten many voicemails like that from women, but never from a former studio employee.
Listen, I just want to say I'm sorry for, blowing up on you. It's, it's not me. I got a little hot. I got a little heated because you were fucking, blowing up my Hotmail account. I'm sitting here with 1,000 messages and I'm trying to figure out which ones are business and which ones are spam and what folders they go in. It's a little, it's a little infuriating to be honest with you. But, I just want to say, I'm off that Ferrone shit. I don't even know why you're fucking talking to me. All right, I mean Christie was the star and all that. I mean, I was there managing by extension, but I wasn't the one.
God damn it, GTS.
Doing all the shit. So if you want to talk to her, talk to her.
That's what I said. Who still uses Hotmail?
Play Second Life with her, so
Second
I have
Life.
Her username here. It's you can hit her up at but the S's are 5. And
So now he's got to play
E's are
Second
3.
Life?
So you know, why don't you come down on her for a minute and leave me the fuck alone? How about that? All right?
Alright, Baba Boo, you want me to send you a whisper on here, or what's the best way to get a hold of you, homie? But that's awesome. God bombs, baby. Oh shit, look at all, I never noticed the Garfields here before. Here's fine. Alright, I'll send you a whisper for sure, homie. I didn't know people still played Second Life. Oh, apparently they don't. I don't see shit.
I haven't talked to Raphael since the 80s. He ghosted me, you know. Yeah, it's awkward history. This may sound crazy, but I'm not sure I want to talk online about that. Would you be willing to meet me in person and keep me anonymous? I think it's time I talk.
Oh
Kinda
shit.
sounded like
Oh fuck. Oh my god.
So, here's another Greg Truth video. What the hell's going on here? Rose from Twitter said she had Cossack's internet numbers.
Oh, Rose. God damn it, Rose. You sent me to the wrong house.
Oh, he's hiding in the bushes. Hold up. He's hiding in the bushes. What the fuck is this? Ronnie funds the military industrial complex. Oh shit, they could.
p.m. Hey Greg, good work out there. Love what you're doing. Find the damn truth.
End of message. To delete this message, press 7. Message deleted. Next message.
Hey Greg, what's up, man? I'm not anything about Gilbert or Road, but I hope you find a lead.
Message deleted.
Hi, Greg. This is Jerry. I'm trying to contact you about the info you have about Ferrone.
Message deleted.
Hello, Mr. Greg Truth. I am a watcher of...
Message
Squeaker,
deleted.
really?
Greg, I was wondering if you had any more info on the Gilbert Garfield.
Message deleted.
Hi, Greg. I'm one of your biggest fans.
What the hell,
You're
really?
so cool. And all your investigations are very...
They have his friends leave him voicemails.
Hello?
Hello? Message deleted.
I was wondering if I could get a little more insight on that whole Ferrone.
Message deleted.
Hey Greg, it's me. We were just texting about the script you're showing me. Have you found any leads? You seem to be really obsessed with this car mechanic and him fucking up your really, really old car. That is a beast, by the way. No offense to your car.
Message deleted.
Hi Greg, just checking in on you. Love you. Bye.
I'm retiring from investigating. Ferrone and otherwise. Goodbye. Fuck you. So, after that video, some of these weird ass fucking shit started getting uploaded to Greg Truth's YouTube. Like, here's one of them.
Family Guys.
Look who's at McDonald's. It's Garfield Days at McDonald's. Now when you get your kids McDonald's, you'll get one of 4 exclusive Garfield push toys. So hurry.
This is all uploaded to Greg Truth's YouTube after that retirement video.
Let me actually get 6 burgers. I'm celebrating a little something tonight, Pally.
Alright, total's gonna be $34.56. Second window.
Thank you, sir.
Greg leaves the McDonald's parking lot at 12:57 a.m. on 9/11 last year.
So here she is, floats in all her glory. This is my baby.
Chainsaw video. Oh God, not that.
Family Guy script.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Wife Lois. And Lois says, Peter, please. And then we see the TV, we see Top Gear on the TV, and the Top Gear guy says,
Writing his own Family Guy script. What's wrong with Greg Truth? Shivers in a burning desire to send someone a F you on a live yourself. Yeah. Well, he's doing that slowly with cholesterol and, heart disease, hardened arteries. The person GTS is talking about, not Greg Truth. Greg places his GoPro on a tripod. Shout out to Juggalo with the GoPro. What the hell is he doing? Greg crosses back to the tripod. What the fuck is going on? I kind of like this Greg Truth. Drive by. Are you trying to kill himself?
How do you want me to sit? Anything?
That's great. We're rolling.
Alright, so he found Christy from Second Life, and here's his interview with her. Let's see what insight she has on all this shit.
Hey, so, in the 80s, I performed lewd entertainment under the street name Christy Vaginas.
Okay, what a name.
Pornography?
Yeah, like porn or film, you could say.
Christy Vaginas.
Most people only have a vague recollection of me anyways, and I think that was pretty deliberate.
Yeah, let me know if you find Christy Vaginas on Pornhub GTS.
Well, okay, so I was based in San Bernardino. I was in over 80 films in 2 years. Skeleton Boner Man, Ninja Tom,
Christy Vagina's Vagina took a pounding.
Pussy Goes Vaginas,
Kitty Cat,
Pussy Goes Vaginas 2, Ninja Tom 6, Slicing the Princes of Sin. Not that any of that matters, because you can't find any of my movies, not on Pornhub, on RedTube, or X videos, or XNXX,
Well, never mind,
or
GTS.
X Hamster, or eFucked. Can't find them on any forums, or not safe for work subreddits, or
Why is that?
not even the deep web.
Okay, I understand, but why? Why?
Not even on motherless.com.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I'm nowhere to be found.
I understand, but why?
So, let me go back a little bit. It was late 88. Rafi came to me and he said,
That's Raphael Cossacks?
yeah, he said he had this amazing new job. It was with a new company that was just breaking into the adult film industry.
This is Ferrone?
Yeah, I think it was Italian.
And it had nothing to do with cartoons?
No, this was straight live action pornography, not animation pornography. So.
Okay then.
Do you need water or something?
It was a 3-day Gonzo Candid Fuckfest of filming.
Right? Christy Vaginas. It's a perfect
We had
porn
like
name.
one break a day. It wasn't so bad back then. I think people nowadays are so sensitive. They always want to take breaks. But yeah, you know, I fucked so many men, you know, of all ages. Some of them were definitely famous too.
Like famous porn stars? Like Ron Jeremy or something?
Am I totally anonymous right now?
No, we got you. We're going to be using the mosaic filter
Yeah, that
from
cat's
My
awesome.
voice too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like in the Second Life interview.
Okay. So, one of them was Newt Gingrich.
Oh shit.
It was way before he was famous.
You mean like the politician in California?
Yeah, it was him. I remember when after the fact, I saw him on the news. My jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. Like, I fucked him. The guy who left his dying wife for a new bitch. I mean, a lot of them were politicians. But Newt, I mean, I'll never forget his disgusting birthmarks. I mean, all of them had birthmarks, but his were just the most vile. Okay, so we're supposed to do a space writing scene, right? I go to jump on his head, and he's telling me, honey, don't worry, I can hold my breath for over 15 minutes.
He's a reptilian.
And then the producers start shushing him. The Ferrone ones. Filming ended, and I tried to reach back out to Rafi, and he wasn't picking up the phone. It was so weird. We just had our highest paying gig yet, and he was nowhere to be found. After that, I stopped getting contract offers, and features, and cameos. Nothing. My line was dry. I wasn't getting anything anymore. Well, okay, so I should say that at the time, I was addicted to cocaine. Rafi,
In the 80s, who wasn't?
he would feed me bumps like I was on a powder-only diet. After he left, I was forced to go cold turkey. It was a blessing because I was able to quit that, and I decided not to get another manager after him because
You left porn.
I somewhat left porn, and then I found out I was pregnant, and later the next summer I gave birth to a beautiful, amazing, perfect baby boy.
Who was the father?
I don't know. I mean, I was known as the queen of cream pies, or...
the queen of cream pies. I didn't catch that the last time. Good God. Okay. Alright, we gotta keep moving.
The cream pie. I, had so much in me all the time. It could have been anyone's.
Oh my God.
You'll never know. And then Ferrone took him. I knew it was them. I recognized the men that came into my house that night.
Space Rider?
Yep, it was the same people at the Gonzo attended Film Fest of filming that told Newt, stop talking about holding your breath so much. It was the same people. They stole my baby.
So this is a cartoon that Farone makes. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything about this TV show. He sounds familiar. Is that Gilbert Gottfried? Is he that Jewish stand-up comedian? Yeah, no, I fucked him too.
Wait, when? During the...
Yeah. It's all a blur, but I definitely fucked him right under the hot lights.
Of the Farone production?
Yeah. Super weird birthmarks. But, you know, he doesn't yell as much in person.
She really did.
Wait.
I'm sorry. What?
What was that date? July 11th, 1989. That's when my baby was born.
Oh, shit. So the date on the show is the same date her baby was born. That Farone kidnapped from her. Old Queen of Cream Pie herself, Christy Vaginas. And meanwhile, back at the Greg Truth channel, things just continue to be fucked up. Alright. So let's see what this is. We're back to Max again. I haven't been completely honest. On July 1st, my now ex-girlfriend and I got a knock at the door. Yeah, we know about this. The ominous gift of orange wine and a Garfield statue. A mysterious figure in orange in my hall, and I tried to pursue them. Told me to ask my homeowners association for the security camera footage. I never told you I received it. I recognize the man. I obsessively froze on the clearest frames I could enhance. I swear this is my friend Austin who originally sent me the Gilbert Garfield tape. Oh shit. My assumption is he's been messing with me as some kind of boyish prank. I avoided sharing this because I don't want to implicate an old friend. But after weeks of radio silence, he texted me a disturbing video. Oh shit. When Gilbert went to a party at the Playboy Mansion, he snapped a woman's bra and the bouncers picked him up and locked him in a closet till the party was over. I believe it. I'm not sure if I should upload it. Okay. So this was uploaded to Greg Truth's channel, obviously, and this is pretty fucked up. Considering the story we just heard from Miss Vaginas, what the ants in this picnic sing. I think Farone has gotten to Greg Truth and hijacked his YouTube channel, because let's watch this.
It would be perfect, you could tell that at a glance, unless of course we ran into...
I'm just taking stock of myself as a doctor, because I do feel like I'm really just getting started.
Fuck, really? So this is what his friend Austin texted him. Contains censored still frames and descriptions of films containing real-life portrayals of death, fornication, and the executions of dictators.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. I heard that this baby was born via the C-section, which is short for cesarean. And now many people think this is named after Cesar Romero. And he would bend over and have these boy toys throw orange slices directly into his ass.
Now, is that true about Cesar Romero? I wonder. Because that makes him awesome. Candid footage of Gaddafi's execution, sodomy with bayonets. That really did happen. That is how Gaddafi was killed, by like the fucking people in the streets.
And they call this the cutting room floor, where they also left half the scenes in the big sleep. And so now, when you celebrate birth, the family can focus on blowing out the candles instead of blowing out the vagina.
Christy vagina? Okay, so now, what the fuck is going on, right? What the hell have we been watching? Well, Pagan Valley happens to have a summary of what we've watched so far up to this point. And he has a second part too that we're going to get to after we get past this and the rest of the Gilbert Garfield content up to a certain point. So I'm going to hand it over to Pagan Valley to tell us what the hell we've just watched.
Him into the street, pulled
What
out
the fuck?
their iPhone.
Well, there's Gaddafi getting sodomized. Let's start that from the beginning. That was weird that it jumped to that. GTS is talking about.
Boris Karloff. He tells a story, and he tells about how disgusting.
So if anybody came in late, this will be a good summary of what we've been watching.
Hey, Monday, you spaghetti, John Harbaugh, Jack Benny, shipped over your body to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. It's Gilbert Garfield. Yeah, I'm Gilbert.
I'm Gilbert Garfield.
Welcome back to Pagan Valley, everyone. Tonight, we're looking at a lesser-known series that someone sent me on Twitter several months ago that at first glance immediately hooked me
Thanks
in.
for the head pats, Nitro.
What I originally thought was a fun
you still hear me all right?
series spoof of Garfield has quickly spiraled out of control into one of the most disturbing ARGs I've ever played. Since July, I've been playing this game, solving clues, cracking codes, and writing this script. And tonight, we're going to go through it piece by piece together. But I want to make it clear right away that this ARG is not finished yet. And while my script was getting longer and longer, I made the decision to stop at a certain point and make this video. The cost of this is that the ARG is going to continue on while I edit, but there will be a part 2 to this video picking up where we leave off. Who doesn't like Garfield?
Ah, yes, Garfield Game Boy. Another nightmare fuel.
The lovable fat cat who loves lasagna and hates Mondays. Most of you know where this is going because Garfield has transcended from popular comic strip to a pretty good TV show, live action movies, and finally into an existential nightmare that now plagues the internet in various forms. And you're probably thinking we're going to talk about Lasagna Cat, a web series that was extremely popular for its Tim and Eric editing and absolutely insane ending.
Lasagna Cat.
But we aren't in this video. You all know me by now. I like to talk about the small channels, the ones that pour just as much of their heart and souls into their series, but just aren't as big. And tonight, we're looking at a different addition to the horror catalog of Garfield that continues the nightmarish legacy of the world's most beloved orange cat. We are looking at a series called Gilbert Garfield.
Oh, that's terrifying. Imagine that being your sleep paralysis demon.
It all begins on a channel of the same name, Gilbert Garfield. Sitting at around 7,000 subscribers, this internet series has sort of gained a cult following. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will all be fans of this series too, because it's everything I love in a horror project on YouTube.
Spoiler alert, you can't find that channel
anymore. Going to the About
anymore.
section of the channel, we get this message. Some friends of mine in Hollywood discovered an old box of tapes they gave me when I graduated college. I recently went through them and discovered they contain episodes of the predecessor of Garfield and Friends, where Gilbert Gottfried, famous from Hollywood Squares, plays the titular Garfield. When I can restore clips, I will upload them here.
You know, I have nightmares every night, but I feel like this freaking ARG is going to have me dream some peaceful sodomy dreams. Nothing more peaceful than sodomy.
Restoring old lost media and uploading them on YouTube? Oh yeah, that's the stuff I like to talk about. It's a method we've seen in series like Paranormal Paranoids and No Through Road, where the YouTube channel is not just the method to present the series, but is actively a part of the created project. Meaning that the creators of the series are going for a real as possible approach to delivering the story, which will all become more obvious as we also look at the Gilbert Garfield Twitter as well as the main channel. But as always, I invite you to go watch this series for yourself before watching my video, because I think it's more fun to watch through it alone and just get ambushed by the series before listening to me pick apart any clues hidden within them.
And I agree, that's why I had us do that first.
Take a moment to pause this video and come back once you've caught up.
Oh, we're already caught up. Go ahead, pagan.
Then let's dive into the surreal, imaginative ARG that is Gilbert Garfield. The first video on the channel is called Gilbert Garfield Introduction. In the description, we are told, an introduction to what this channel is about, preserving clips of the apparently cancelled Gilbert Garfield project. This video has no vocal narration, but does have closed captions explaining that the person filming...
I was going to say, I forgot to mention, because I agree, this intro is reminds me a lot of Marble Hornets. I don't know if anybody in the chat has seen that series. It's an older one based around Slender Man. But this definitely has Marble Hornets vibes right here.
Has a friend named Austin who is compiling old Garfield footage from the 80s and 90s for a college capstone project. But our lead character, who is named Max by the way, mentions that while finding these old tapes, they had found an extra length of film called Gilbert Garfield Crossover from 1987.
I might do a stream on that.
We see them enter a storage facility where he finds the lost media tape of the same name, while telling us that it's damaged and they'll upload what they can salvage from it before our video ends. While also on June 8th of this year, a Twitter account was created by Max to document what they want to find in these tapes.
See, this is why I like this video, because this Twitter account no longer exist. I've searched far and wide for it, short of, the Internet Wayback Machine, which I that's too much of a fucking pain in the ass to navigate. So I'm glad he did all this clipping and screenshots for my convenience of the Twitter account, because it really does help a lot of things make sense.
The second video on the channel is called Gilbert Garfield Recovered.
We gotta watch all these again, aren't you guys glad?
The description reads, "This seems to be from the episode Garfield and Odie Killed John, which is already a big departure from the lore of the original Garfield and Friends series.
I didn't even know you had a Twitter.
I'm interested in what's next.
Juggalo
Does
Dundee
Garfield go to space prison?
Or it's X
what
now.
Is space like for him? Should we call him Gilbert?" And the video is, well, this.
What a shocker, GTS.
So I was watching this movie with Boris Karloff. In it, he tells a story, and he tells about how only a disgusting Italian would invent lasagna. And the story goes, this old Italian grandma,
X is a very dumb name.
Was so ashamed her pasta was only a big rectangle, and she tried to hide it with mozzarella, but it just looked like a Caucasian melty flesh.
This series is so stupid.
Okay, so we're already getting so much thrown at us. Obviously, the title, Gilbert Garfield, means an old Garfield cartoon with famous comedian Gilbert Gottfried's face placed over Garfield's, and with Gottfried voicing the character as well.
I'm not going to call it T2 Baba Booey, because that's an injustice to one of the greatest action movies ever made, Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Garfield in this episode is standing in his house talking about a movie he watched that mentioned lasagna, until Odie appears only to be immediately shot in
What
front
a
of
screen
him,
grab.
followed by this alien creature appearing and putting Garfield in handcuffs.
Nice
the
sack,
alien
bro.
also says in subtitles, "Se in arresto, Garfield. Por favor, mette le zamp in questione mane."
Buongiorno.
Which is bad Italian for, "You're under arrest, Garfield. Please put your paws in these handcuffs." This is followed by Garfield being abducted by the alien. Then we get to see that Garfield has apparently murdered John, but we also can hear some audio while John's body is being shown.
A big rectangle, and she tried to hide it with mozzarella, but it just looked like a Caucasian melty flesh.
I think it's just a continuation of Gilbert's rant. And yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about Pagan Valley Radam is he speaks very slowly and really wants you to hang on to his every word when he explains what's going on. But he tries to, like, I might be being a little too critical, but he tries to play it off at the end that he's trying to speak super serious, like as a spoof of what this whole thing is. Man, off topic, but your mods may I know you IRL, but they don't know the inside jokes I can make to really derail your stream. That's true, GTS.
Now, I have
Is he
tried
autistic? I don't know.
deciphering this bit of audio. From what I can tell, it's just a continuation of the story that Garfield was telling when the alien arrested him. Lastly, we see John's house before the alien ship that abducted Garfield destroys John and John's house altogether. So Garfield, voiced by Gilbert Gottfried, has murdered John before being arrested by Italian space aliens that may have also shot Odie before making the arrest. Alright, well, it's not the craziest thing we've covered on this channel. Italian aliens, Garfield was talking about lasagna. Lasagna is somewhat an Italian food. It makes sense. The next video is called Gilbert Garfield Recovered Clip Number 2, and the description reads this. For some reason, this clip was interlaced with an old yoga tape. The work put into keeping this episode alive was shoddy at best. I'm curious as to how long this alien or aliens have wanted Gilbert. What scares me the most is whatever is printing in the background. Restoring these clips has kept me awake late into the night, and I'm getting weird chills whenever I think about them. This clip continues after Garfield's arrest, where we see this.
I am
So she digs through her disgusting Italian jar for the only liquid she has to cover her shame. Tomato sauce. And now keep in mind, most of what I know of the Italian culture comes from the great homosexual comedian Chico Marx of the Marx Brothers family. And he was Jewish, you know, not a real Italian. This dead alien reminds me of the golden age of Hollywood, where you could stick anything up your ass and no one would ask the wiser question, as long as the studio heads had your back.
The fucking,
So now we know that Gilbert Garfield is completely
the dialogue
insane.
on this.
While he does recognize what's happening around him, he chooses to tell stories like in a stand-up routine. We learn that Garfield is wanted by these aliens, and we are shown why, as he reveals some ungodly power that decimates the alien. Also, the alien said before its brutal death, "Presto arriveremo alla prigione spaziale," which translates to "soon we'll arrive at the space prison." So Garfield must know he's being hunted by these aliens, but has decided to murder his captor, leaving him alone on the spaceship. The third clip on the channel is definitely one of the most bizarre. And if this was a real TV show, it must have been some kind of adult parody of Garfield, because, well, take a look.
Being arrested for a future crime reminds me of the precogs from the Steven Spielberg 2002 adaptation of Minority Report, which is not about a Japanese newspaper.
Wasn't that the Japanese emperor during World War II? Like, I still have no idea what bearing he has on all of this.
Of course, I know all of this because of my third eye that can see into the future. And my fourth eye in my ass.
Maybe I should have distorted mine, huh?
I'm hungry. Ground veal. Ground veal. Ground veal. Ground veal.
So disgusting.
Ground veal.
Is this why the aliens arrested him to begin with?
I'm an anomaly. Well, I feel like a dick.
Yeah, him, Mussolini, Hitler, Gaddafi.
Now, I've seen a lot on this channel, but this is true art, as this couldn't have become any more complex. Now time travel has been established in this cartoon, and we are told that Garfield was arrested for a future crime
dictator
that he and Odie would commit in 1989. But this episode aired in 1987, So does that mean that scene of John Arbuckle hasn't occurred yet? We also get a flash of the Japanese emperor from World War II, Hirohito, as Garfield talks about a movie. Then we see that Garfield has 3 eyes and a hidden 4th one. Can expand to a being that dwarfs the Earth by eating raw baby cow meat and create a void in space by eating all of Earth, which I assume is the end of the episode.
Now, Pagan kind of brushed over the movie he was discussing. He's talking about Minority Report, which definitely didn't come out in 1987. Like, I found that interesting that he's talking about having a 3rd eye that can see into the future, and then he discusses a movie that hadn't been released yet at the time. Just something to think about.
And if this is a TV show, then the next episode will start with everything back to normal. But something feels off about this program, and our character who is salvaging this footage is starting to feel the same way.
I guess if I would have read the descriptions of these videos, I would have.
For a brief side note on Twitter, the character tweets this and also gets this response. Whoever this mad lad is definitely has a better eye than me, and replied to Max with this: is it coincidence, or is this series really that detailed? And based on what we've seen so far, I'll guess it's the latter. Anyway, our 4th recovered clip has this in the description. In an odd retelling of Exodus, centuries pass for Gilbert. More frightening still is the fact that the address is really close to my stepdad's.
That's what I'm saying, GTS. Like, for such a stupid subject for an ARG, like, there's really a lot put into it.
Place. I don't know. Looks like I might have missed something early in the tape. I'm going to try and recover.
Moses. Pharaoh Gilbert Garfield, you've doomed the Jewish people to suffering and slavery.
Being notoriously frugal, I not only enjoy free hotel shampoos, but free manual labor when building my great pyramids of Giza.
Have the God of Abraham's plagues not moved you? Your own firstborn is dead just this morning.
Well, the good news is Michael Jackson won't try to molest him anymore.
Humor? At a time like this, brother? Is it not too soon?
When you perceive time non-linear, there is no such thing as too soon or too late. There are only 2 words. Baked Z. I must go.
This clip actually does follow after Garfield enters the void, where he throws up all the raw veal, which after another century becomes one of the pyramids of Egypt. So Garfield has gone back in time to the biblical age, as he is now the Pharaoh during the book of Exodus in the Bible. Obviously, when Moses comes, who is played by John's neighbor Lyman, Garfield explains that time is meaningless to him, as he is now ascended above even the Egyptian gods, it seems. Now, I know there are some Egyptian hieroglyphs being used as subtitles, but the VHS filter really makes it difficult to make out each symbol in order to decode it. One commenter on the video claims it is translated to "Join me in the sun, Pharaoh, the cycle is beginning."
That's what it sounds like he says.
If this is the translation, then this is the Egyptian god of Ra speaking to Garfield, since Garfield is the Pharaoh. And the creepiness doesn't end there, because at the end of the video, we get an address that our
Nitro's
character
address,
Max
apparently.
knows about, since it's apparently close to his stepdad's house, which is really unnerving for them, I can imagine. The address points to Wine Country, California. Back on Twitter, our character says the 5th clip is the last one on the tape, and they seem relieved to have it be over with. The description reads, "This is the last bit of footage I've
You hear that
managed to
fucking awesome
digitize
song
so
again.
far. Real gruesome, unpleasant, not sure about the company mentioned at the end."
John Arbuckle, why can't I stop seeing things? John, why can't I stop seeing things? John, just poke my eyes out like you're Mo Howard.
Can I just point out that line, just poke my eyes out like you're Mo Howard, is fucking hilarious to me. Since I'm a huge fan of the Three Stooges. That's fucking... You numbskull. Oh, man. I can appreciate that line a lot. Alright, let's get to this fucking banger.
Hey, Monday, you spaghetti. John Arbuckle, Jack Benny. Shipped on your body to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. It's Gilbert Garfield. Yeah, I'm Gilbert.
I'm Gilbert Garfield.
I'm sorry, that's a jam right there. I wish that was on Spotify.
Alright, so let's unpack this. The first piece of evidence is that we see a calendar for the year 1989 with a marked date in blood, which could be that future crime referred to when Garfield and Odie would kill John. Next, we are introduced to a character named Jack Benny, which really stands out in the intro for the show.
He's a
but
1940s comedian,
through the ARG,
Pagan, come on.
This Jack Benny hasn't been talked about too much.
Because he's not a character.
Lastly, we are also shown a list of producers who all have Italian names, and the name of the production company who has made the show, Faraone, which is Italian for Pharaoh, and this company is connected back to the Egyptian imagery which we saw in the previous video. So Max has found a lost media tape of a show from the late 80s that clearly was ahead of its time with surreal animation, and they have saved it all for us to enjoy. So there's nothing more to talk about, right? Back on Twitter one day later, our main character tweets this. "Somebody told me to reach out to Austin. I was going to hand the reins over to him, but after trying to call him and text him a few times, he sent me this picture, and now it seems like the messages aren't going through."
What the fuck is that?
So yeah, that is a truly disturbing thing to get from your friend with no
Looks
other
like
message.
Epstein Island.
What has happened to Austin? On the channel, the main character posts a video saying how he's happy to be done salvaging the footage as it's giving him nightmares. But as his video goes on, it seems that the Gilbert Garfield show is corrupting the main character's footage, which results in the last line of the video having a glitch, where the word joining turns into this.
John.
The name John is revealed.
Arbuckle.
Someone got into my fucking accounts. I'm changing all my passwords and recovery emails and double authenticating and blah blah blah, but I'm fucking pissed. Who the fuck even uses these stupid fucking flip androids?
Great performance, great performance. I can really feel the anger in that.
Someone has hacked Max's channel and Twitter to up.
Going to bed to have dreams of sodomy. Well, enjoy those sodomy dreams, my friend. Yeah, I hope you look more into this. Keep that fourth eye thing. I hope you look more into Gilbert Garfield and Ferroni Productions. It sounds right up your alley, GTS. But good night, my friend.
Upload a video. The description, which reads, "Drink or not." So there was a lot of code, so to save some time I'm going to talk about what I feel are the most important to appear in this video. First, the phrase "you've lost your appetite" appears in Odie's eyes, followed by an image of either an Egyptian or a Roman soldier, followed by text that reads, "Roman Emperor, go to the," and an arrow points to a grapevine.
Napa. Just
This
like
is
Nitro
followed
said.
by a single frame of a map, which we'll look at
I
in
think
a minute.
Nitro's behind this whole
Next,
Ferroni
after
scheme.
the image of
Seems
John,
to know
we
quite a
get
bit.
a single frame of a blurred image of a man,
how he gets the
followed
shoes.
by a photo of Emperor Augustus.
That's definitely
of Rome.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Last thing of importance is a website called FerroneTruth.com.
See, I didn't even see
Before we
that.
look at that website, I'm first going to try to make sense of all of this. At the end of the fourth clip, we were shown an address in Wine Country, California, which is where this video is telling the Roman Emperor to go to by showing us grapevines. So is this the location of the map that is shown for a single frame in the video? If it is, then who is the Roman Emperor? Well, we got a snapshot of Augustus, the first emperor of
That's
Rome.
Gilbert Gottfried's
But
face
remember
on
that
Augustus.
time is now non-linear in this series. So my theory is that this blurred photo is of a new Roman emperor in the 1980s.
It's Gilbert Gottfried.
Who is told by the video to go to Wine Country, California, because Romans and wine connect to each other. So let's go to that website before we continue. Going to FerroneTruth.com brings you to this site. And yes, you can go here right now, but it may look a little different as it changes all the time in this ARG. First, you will notice the drawing of Gilbert Garfield playing piano and a chat box under him. When I clicked on it, I was able to type a message and didn't get any reply back after I sent it. Next, I will direct your eyes to the tabs at the top. Most of them are locked by a guess password, which after trying every little detail in this series for damn near 30 minutes, I can admit that I have not found it yet. But the tab you can follow takes you to the catalog of all of Ferrone's animations, and some are more suspicious than others. First, we can tell that a lot of these projects have to do with cats, which are related to the gods of Egypt, which clearly Ferrone Productions has been linked to. But the post about Gilbert Garfield looks oddly familiar. Could this be one of the images that Austin sent our main character that we saw on Twitter? If it is, then does that mean that Austin's phone has been hacked by Ferrone Productions? Scrolling down the website, you can also find an email subscribe box to stay in contact with the company. Naturally, I threw mine in there, and a little pop-up message under the box read, "Join the Sun." Again, another reference to the sun god Ra.
The sun. Yeah, Ra.
Now, I don't know what I've gotten myself into with this email. Nothing has been sent to me since.
Oh shit, we
But
got
if
Lotus
anything
Pod
does,
up in
I will
here.
post it on Twitter
Whoop,
and
whoop.
show
What
it
up,
in the
Lotus
next
Pod?
video. As for the rest of the website, Ferrone Productions seems to be eager for visitors to learn about their winery. Now, could this mean that their winery is located in Wine Country, California? Well, if that's the case, then I don't think this company is from Italy.
Wrong.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a Bologna, or Bologna, however the fuck you say it, in Italy.
Let's look back at those clips. Garfield has
Stopping
been
by before
portrayed
bed.
several
Well, hey, you have
times
a
as
good
the
night.
Pharaoh,
Hopefully these images
and
don't
the
give you
alien that
nightmares,
tried
homie.
to imprison Garfield was speaking Italian. Italy.
Oh shit, did you go to the Shaggy show? Lotus Pod, that's right. That was in Greensboro tonight, wasn't it? Hell yeah.
being the home of Rome and its
about an hour ago. Fuck yeah, homie, that's what I like to see. I'm going to his show. It's the second to last one in Fostoria, Ohio. Looking forward to seeing Shaggy and Hex and Lardy B. Should be a good show. Hope you had a good time, homie.
Emperor. There is still a lot to cover in this ARG, however, I want to propose that what we have been shown in these clips are referencing some big event in 1989. We are told that time is circular, so could in 1989 there have been a return of the Pharaoh and a return of the Roman.
Yeah, I went to the first show, like the first leg, when they went to Fort Wayne in Indiana. And Shaggy put on a hell of a set. I heard it's like pretty much the same set from the first leg. But yeah, it's fucking dope, man. And I'm glad you had a good time. And I hope you have a good time at Three-Headed Monster Nitro. I think R.A. the Rugged Man is opening for that. And that should be fucking good, because he can put on a hell of a show.
Emperor. Back on YouTube, the channel posts a vlog called Message Received. In the description, our character says,
yeah, I didn't know they did
update, I'm reaching
shows
out
in
to my
wine country.
stepdad as this is uploading. My memories of this moment are kind of a haze. I was just filming my girlfriend playing with our cat when I heard a knock at the door.
Hey, what's he doing? For a second. Listen.
Shit, this is weird. Hoodoo on the Quest, yeah, that would have been fucking dope. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Hoodoo.
What the hell?
Like Hoodoo wasn't even at the gathering this year. I mean, I've heard some shit, don't get me wrong. But I always take everything I read on the internet with a grain of salt. Also. So I can't believe this guy's stepdad was in your backyard, Nitro.
For our character.
And stole your hidden box of shit.
The tapes have bled into the character's smartphone. On Twitter, Max also adds that he blacked out for 2 hours after he pursued the person who delivered the message. Max also says that the incident has pushed him to reach out to his stepfather to go investigate the address in Wine Country, which is the title of the next video, where the description reads, "Had my stepdad investigate the Wine Country address at Bogandale Drive. I'm curious about a few things. I'm going to check out that stained glass fixture more soon. Eager to see what's on the card." The video shows the character's stepdad following the address to an empty lot. After walking around, he finds a fake window with some art in the glass. Sitting before the window, he finds a rock with the words "Rise from the Ashes" engraved.
You were saving that shit, oh man.
And before you tell me, yes, I tried that phrase as the password to the website, but still no luck. Buried beneath the rock is a box filled with wood pyramids and
that's very creative window art, Nitro. I thought that was impressive. Stained glass, it looks
finds
like.
an SD card that the main character Max plans to have sent to him. Back on Twitter, Max analyzes the fake window in the fence where he makes out an Egyptian landscape with a pyramid, a river, and a sun. The following day, he posts another video on the channel titled "The SD Card Came In." The description reads, Someone on Twitter thinks I'm being pulled into a cycle or something. A mysterious TikTok account is uploading clips of the cartoon we restored. I restored.
It's your Egyptian
I have
heritage
no
why you
idea
like
what
cats.
a
That makes sense.
.mfr extension is, or what the math in the text file signifies. In the video, our
the
character
Gilbert Garfield
finds two
face.
files on the SD card his stepdad found.
That's why I got him
One
chilling
of them
right at
is
the
a
bottom
text
of the
file
screen here
called
to just
extension,
stare at you
and
the whole
other
time.
is .mfr file, which you can't open without the right software. In that extension text, he highlights certain numbers which may be an extension for him to call. And a .mfr file is a file with a plastic ejection code written in it for a factory machine to create, which doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense is this person's reply on Twitter when our character asks for help. The .mfr code is for a NES ROM, which means that not only was a TV show made by Ferrone, but now a video game from the late 80s was also created for Gilbert Garfield, which our character manages to salvage in the next video called Let's Play Gilbert Garfield's Week Part 1, Tuesday. The description of the Let's Play reads this. The gameplay ends with a countdown that brings me back to the starting screen. I can't tell what I need to do to go further in the game. This seems even more ominous than the tape. I can't tell if I'm playing this game or if whoever made it, hacked it, whatever, is playing with me. Perhaps at Grintley. The headaches are back.
Oh shit. That is a banging ass theme song though. Oh.
The video game menu comes up and we can immediately find Ferrone in the credits at the bottom as being the owner of the Gilbert Garfield property. Starting the game brings up Gilbert's head, and we get this message with an ominous amen at the end, as if Gilbert Garfield gave this prayer. As we follow Garfield in this side-scroller game, we watch as he completes the first level until he enters a building with the Eye of Ra on it, which is also the logo of Ferrone Productions. Inside, Garfield meets with this mass of human flesh that tells Garfield that he isn't Gilbert Gottfried and that it's time to do the cycle again. Remember, we were told about this cycle in an early clip of the TV show when Garfield spoke with the Egyptian gods. This cycle seems to be at least part of what is giving Gilbert Garfield his powers, and Ferrone is the one helping him. Okay, so time for a very long side tangent.
Oh god.
Following the Twitter account will take you down some very strange rabbit holes.
Oh good.
The first one comes in the reference to Gilbert Garfield made in this post that tagged our main character. Following the link takes you to this dead website. After using the Wayback Machine to dig up the website's corpse, I found a website called JohnHinckleyNow.com, a website dedicated to fans of the man who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan. Emailing this website when it was alive would get your picture onto the collage of fan photos. In the catalog of photos, you can find this one of a fan holding up a sign with a picture of Gilbert Garfield drawn on it.
What the fuck?
Following this discovery, another Twitter account tags our character.
Garfield Heights,
with
that's in
this
Ohio.
now deleted tweet from a now deleted account. This reply to the Hinckley photo links an article that talks about the Reagan assassination attempt, where Hinckley was tackled by a man named Alfred Antonucci, who was from, get this, Garfield Heights. The second rabbit hole follows directly after the Hinckley one with a character named
Greg Truth
Official. A Twitter account that our main character has retweeted included 2 classified CIA documents.
It always
on
comes back
Project
to
Eraser,
Ohio, god damn it.
where the CIA researched how to manipulate the human embryo before it grows into a fetus. I will now read the following transcript between a Senator Kennedy of the US Congress and a leader of Project Eraser within the CIA.
Did you read it with some emotion in your voice?
With me will be Toby from Toby Pasta, playing the voice of a Mr. Goldman.
There we go. Very convincing senator voice, I'm sure.
I am perfectly willing to tell you everything that I can remember.
But you can't remember anything?
Order!
I can't remember the substantive parts of these things. I really can't.
Come on,
There
to
are
use
some
a
things
Kennedy
that are
voice. You must
time,
use a Kennedy
and linear time
accent.
is a tricky
Boston.
thing, a tricky concept.
Sound like the mayor of Springfield.
Of the program that was taking place, do you have any greater familiarity with what was happening over at Ferrone
That's not the voice of a Senator Kennedy.
No.
But Ferrone Productions was receiving government grants to conduct research.
I don't have any knowledge of that. I'm sorry.
Did you ever go to San Francisco?
Yes.
Exactly, Baba
Did you
Booey,
meet with Sig Gottliebino?
Yes.
And why did you meet with him?
To discuss a few of the comic strips he was searching for. Mr. Gottliebino was an avid collector of comic strips.
And this was related to the research being done.
Yes, Gottliebino said that the comics were the key to a large area of the research. He didn't elaborate, and I didn't press him.
You travel out there to discuss comic strips, and what does he tell you?
He told me that the work that they were doing was going along, progressing satisfactorily. But to be very frank with you...
But he didn't tell you what the work was.
To be very frank with you, Senator, I cannot remember the things that happened back in those days. I've told you time and time again, I have trouble remembering those days.
Did they disperse a series of uniquely labeled vials to your recollection?
I don't recollect it, but if you do have it there, then they did.
So this is proof that Ferrone Productions is more than just an animation production studio. 10 years before the production of the Gilbert Garfield show, They were clearly funded by the CIA to conduct testing for Project Eraser. But at some point something in vials was leaked by Ferrone, which was the reason the CIA agent was brought before Congress. But look at his wording. He mentions how time doesn't make sense to him when it's linear. Very similar to what Garfield told Lyman when he was Pharaoh. So going back to the Twitter account who posted this document, Real Greg Truth is probably the most accurate portrayal of a crazy conspiracist I've seen in a series. Going through his Twitter, you will find ramblings regarding CIA theories and other random "the government is watching me" type tweets. One of the first red flags on Greg's Twitter is this thread where Greg claims that Ferrone has ties to the fascist leader of Italy, Mussolini. Another important tweet is this one where Greg says, perhaps Reagan was not what he seems it would seem. And don't forget that Hinckley was tackled before assassinating Ronald Reagan by a man named Antonucci, an Italian last name. Strange. Next important tweet is this one with a phone number to a tip line to Greg, a number that I actually called and got this.
Sound like he got shot.
I quickly left a voicemail to Greg saying that I had info on the Ferrone conspiracy. Continuing on Twitter, we learn that Greg's Truthmobile suddenly quit working despite it never having any problems. Also, Greg links his website. On it, we are ambushed by a lot of information about Greg's likes. Apparently, Greg is a big Family Guy fan as well as a fan of McDonald's.
Who doesn't love some McDonald's?
Because he can use their free Wi-Fi to make his posts. According to the follow-up on his
He uses the
website,
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Greg believes that the CIA sabotaged his car since he's been talking about Ferrone. And when he goes to the repair shop, he is told his car can't be repaired, which he also blames on the mechanics being paid off by the country of Italy.
What up,
Out
Bevo
of
nerd?
curiosity, I searched up Greg Truth on YouTube and found a channel of the same name.
Oh
Following
yeah,
the
I
car
could go for
situation,
a fucking
we got a
20-piece
video
myself.
called Ferrone Mechanic Gets the Bird, which shows this.
Good handful. Nah, see, I'm a big man. I can tear up a 20-piece. Some sweet and sour sauce. Oh, or fries and ranch. That sounds good too. Basically, this series is about a lost media cartoon that combined Gilbert Gottfried the comedian with Garfield the cat, and the production studio behind it. There's a whole conspiracy surrounding it, supposedly. They might be doing some genetic mutation experiments. They might be trying to usher in the New World Order, a new Roman Empire. Just lots of lots of very weird stuff that only I can find and provide. And the conspiracy nut that's
So Greg
investigating
managed to
this
fix
is a
his
huge
car on
fan
his
of
own,
Family Guy and
Before we
McDonald's.
look at those other videos, let's go back to the website. If you click on Hobbies at the top, we learn that Greg has wrote his own script for Family Guy that he has sent to Fox.
Oh, God.
Scrolling down, we get to see some of Greg's fan art of the show, which can be a little off-putting the more you scroll.
Not the feet drawings, oh God.
Next, let's read the Ferrone investigation on Greg's website. Basically, Greg is on the same page as us, as he knows about Gilbert Garfield because he had visited the Ferrone Truth website. Also believing that this is not a kid's show and that it may actually be programming, since Project Eraser is within MK Ultra at the CIA. At the bottom of the blog, Greg adds additional documents tied to the two we already read, so let's pick out the unclassified words within them. However, sensitive matters, substances, human, unethical, laboratories, modus operandi, which translates into mode of operation, biological, approvers, Sig Gatalibino.
Right, yeah, I'd
That
say most
last
TV
one,
programming
that
is
was the man
programming.
Mr. Goldman of the CIA was in contact with at Ferrone Productions in San Francisco. Let's go back to Greg's YouTube channel. The second video on it is called Los Angeles Ferrone Investigation Number 1. Most of the video is Greg wandering around LA and going into buildings that have nothing to do with the government and asking confused workers about Ferrone. But there are two important scenes you need to watch. Take a look.
This is my first time in LA, and I'm looking for Ferrone. It's a production studio. Production studio, but I don't see a lot of cameras around or cartoons.
Strictly a bowling center.
Right, but where do you keep the cartoons? Los Angeles, right? This is where they make Family Guy.
Yeah, that's our location, but we're a bowling center.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Truth is like a spoof on QAnon, like the Pizzagate type people.
Yeah. Actually, do you have a payphone? I don't want to use my hotline minutes.
Oh, is that how you spell Davy?
Howdy there, son.
I have to put that on a t-shirt.
It's me. It's your pop. Listen, I actually happen to be in the area. I got an extra burger here. Well, son, just give me a call back on the hotline number and, yeah.
Oh, son didn't answer. That's sad.
Sorry about that. That's quite alright there, brother. I mean, at least you picked up the phone and it rang. A lot of people these days don't seem to do that. They make all kinds
Scrotum
of
pierced, brother.
Cartoons with Satan in them and shit like that, you know? Put all this sick shit in the kids' cartoons.
Who's in charge of that? Or who's sending you here?
No, nobody sends me anywhere, you know? I'm on my
I
own
know, the
accord.
voice sounds like
Nobody
Hulk
has
Hogan or
this
some
dog
shit.
on a leash.
What's the person's
Well, it would probably be under a name like Ferrari or Romano.
Oh, not too sure.
You're not too sure. Oh. Hey there, how you doing tonight, sweetheart?
Massage parlor.
I'm looking for a production studio, and everyone in this town.
You believe in MK Ultra, brother?
They're a little Italian outfit. This is their website. All kinds of these satanic crap. You seem like a well-traveled gal, you know. So maybe you've seen some guys coming in here with, you know, pizza stains on their tracksuits, using a toothpick. Anybody like that come in here? Huh?
So they're an Italian company, and he's assuming they have pizza stains on their tracksuits and using toothpicks. Okay, brother.
Independent investigator. I'm looking
Tortilla
for
pizza, that does sound good.
Productions.
Yeah, well, that's not what this is. Can you stop doing
Really? Because it looks like you got a lot of cameras.
You're not really supposed to film back here.
Oh,
You're actually supposed to
yeah.
sign
You ever film anything for the attempt?
Serious, stop. Turn it off.
You're a feisty boy, huh?
Hey, cheese only, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'll put my camera wherever I damn well please.
That doesn't mean anything. You're on private property. And you're
Yeah,
filming.
it's easy,
In
yeah.
a
You know
place
what
where you're
that
supposed to have it any.
smells?
Do you want to come in and sit down, or do you want to leave? Well, what do you want to do?
Oh, what? So you can have the cops come by?
Seriously.
Yeah, why don't
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, what?
Ooh, tough pepperoni. Yeah. Yeah, don't want tough pepperoni. Oh, I left a cheeseburger for him. Family Dollar
So
pepperoni.
Greg has
oh
a
man,
son
yeah,
that won't
you're
stay
brave
in
for eating
contact
that.
with him. And at the end of the video, we see him leave a McDonald's cheeseburger at an apartment door before leaving. Strange and oddly familiar. Let's keep moving. Back on Twitter, our main character seems to be in contact with Greg, and an altercation turns into internet beef between them, with our main character clearly afraid of Greg, and Greg claiming that our main character
meat
is
tires,
a double
oh.
agent for Ferrone Productions.
Oh.
But Greg's Twitter really starts to show signs of a mental disorder, as he has mood
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent
Oh
ya.
shit, we're getting raided by Nifty. What's up? Welcome in, Raiders. How y'all doing? We're watching some conspiracies surrounding lost media that combines Gilbert Gottfried and Garfield the cat. Very fucked up, weird stuff going on that only I can provide you. Right? What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming in. Shout out to Nifty. How was your stream, my friend? Mine's been a mind fuck, that's for sure. Let Mama coming in again. Yeah, we're going deep down the rabbit hole right now in this Gilbert Garfield shit. Right now, a truther behind the studio that produced Gilbert Garfield is kind of... Well, he's losing his mind on Twitter, it seems. So we're going to pick up where we left off here. But thanks for the raid, Nifty. Good to see you, homie. It was great hanging out with you at the gathering. Hope to do it again sometime soon. And I'm going to pick right back up where we were.
Like, please call me son, showing us a tragic and more vulnerable side to his character.
Just adjust my tie here.
But it all goes off the rails when Greg starts targeting this man named Raphael
Straighten my
Kosak.
hair. Hello, Lithium Queen.
All because in a photo on this random guy's social media, he's with another guy with a name tag that says Ferrone on it. Realizing Greg is in a bad place, a Twitter follower named Rose sends a dox
T-Dauber.
to
What's up,
Greg
T-Dauber?
saying
Whoop, whoop.
it's Kosak's private information. Which leads us to the next video titled, Don't Trust Internet Liars. In it, we see that Greg has actually followed through and went to the location in Rose's post. And just when Greg...
Oh, Nifty was playing Visage. I got stuck in that game, man. That game was a fucking... That's a mind fuck, too. Man, that game scared the hell out of me. I got stuck at one point. I might have to go back and watch your VOD on that to see where to go. I can't remember exactly where I got stuck, but I'm pretty sure I'll remember if I look back. But yeah, that's a good, nice choice.
Realizes he's been trolled and he's at a stranger's house. The police arrive and Greg is forced to hide in bushes. Then this occurs.
No worries, Lithium Queen. Better late than never.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh my god.
I'm probably going to be streaming the game The Darkness. I know it's an older game, but Lithium Queen reminded me of how awesome it is, and I really want to play it again. I'll try and get that 100% on that. Nice.
God damn it, Rose, you sent me to the wrong house.
Yes, Lithium Queen, get this thing.
First unheard message sent yesterday at
Gotta Darkness.
7:15 p.m.
Mike
Hey, Greg.
Patton and his voice acting.
Good
man,
work out there.
Fucking
Love
top
what
notch.
you're doing.
Same with
Find the damn truth.
Monsters
End of
on Left 4
message.
Dead
To
and his
delete
music,
this
of
message,
course.
press 7.
Yeah.
Message deleted. Next message.
Hey Greg, what's up, man? I don't got anything about Gilbert or Ferone, but I hope you find leads.
Message deleted.
Hi, Greg. This is Jerry. I'm trying to contact you about the info you have about Ferone.
Message deleted.
Hello.
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent ya.
I got Bosley ready. It's a raiding machine coming in. What up, Bosley? Welcome in, Bosley and Raiders. Good to see everybody coming in here. Let's give it a good old shout out to the homie Bosley, if it'll let me. I know I just gave Nifty one. Nope, there we go. Give Bosley a follow if you haven't already. All the homies are raiding in. You love to see it. We're watching conspiracy theories and mashups that should never be made, such as that horrifying face at the bottom of the screen there, Gilbert Garfield. Man. But yes, I think this truther behind the conspiracy behind this animation studio that made Gilbert Garfield is kind of reaching his demise at this point.
Message deleted.
Hey, Greg. I was wondering if you had any more info on the Gilbert Garfield.
Message deleted.
Hi, Greg. I'm one of your biggest fans. You're so cool. And all your investigations are very...
Message deleted.
Hello?
Hello? Message deleted.
I was wondering if I could get a little more insight on that whole Ferone.
Message deleted.
Hey, Greg, it's me. We were just texting about the script you're showing me. Have you found any leads? You seem to be really obsessed with this car mechanic and him fucking up your really, really old car. That is a beast, by the way. No offense to your car.
Message deleted.
Hi, Greg. Just checking in on you. Love you. Bye.
Aw. Tiring from this. Oh, his room's gotta smell bad.
Greg really likes Family Guy, but that's not even the strangest part of the video. The remainder of the video is Greg listening to the voicemails that people left on the hotline, the actual voicemails. Unfortunately, mine didn't make the cut.
Oh, tears.
But this
and
has to be a
off.
reference by the creator to the Lasagna Cat ARG.
That sounds like a good
since that
scented
series
candle.
also had the audience leaving voicemails that they used in a later video.
Lasagna Cat.
The last part of the video is Greg typing in a text box that says he is retiring from investigating Ferone. So let's go back to Max's channel and continue this video game that Ferone Productions developed.
Scent, yes.
And apparently this game was developed with Konami because our character discovers a Konami code that can be entered into Gilbert Garfield's weekend. The next level is titled Wednesday, and the description reads, I've managed to get through the countdown at the end of level 1. However, things are only getting stranger. I will be posting on Twitter the dialogue box choices I can make in the next recording session I have the energy to do.
The day before your birthday. Oh shit. last year, because that Twitter account is no longer exists. Nurgle. This guy sucks at video games. Of course, crouch for a long time. Like in Super Mario 3. Duh. Murders happen around the week of my birthday. I watch a lot of true crime shows and I hear July, whatever day in the last week so many times. That in the first week or so of October. I wonder why. I wonder what makes people bloodthirsty during those times. That's a very interesting trivia fact there. Probably all the heat in July. Yeah, people going heat crazy. Yeah. I know the first couple days of the gathering, I'm ready to kill somebody over the heat.
So it's finally connected. This is the link between our main character and all the conspiracies Greg was talking about. After using a crouch code in the game, our main character teleports to an in-game version of the Ferone laboratory. And what level was this in? The Wine Tour. There was absolutely a laboratory in Wine Country, California where Ferone Productions is. And we even get more insight on what Ferone and the CIA were creating. Remember how that document said the research was to manipulate embryos? Well, they're doing this by coding them with certain personalities, or maybe even the souls themselves, letting Garfield choose from a list of who he wants to become. And right now, there are 3 options: Augustus Caesar, Gilbert Godfrey, or Ronald Reagan. All of them characters this ARG has referenced in giving instructions.
It's unbearably hot at the gathering. Plus, you have the
Someone
Ohio
in the real
humidity on
world
top
has
of
been
that.
coded as
Or just
Augustus
Midwest
Caesar,
humidity in general, I
and
guess.
that's who the message was for from Ferone. And Hinckley tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan before being stopped by an Italian man.
So it's all time.
So if that was a Ferone agent, then they knew they had created the President of the United States at that time. Now let's quickly talk about that TikTok account. If you find the account @Grintley, then you may think it's just a re-upload profile.
That no longer exists either, by the way.
But look at the descriptions of each video. Definitely something to keep an eye on as we continue. The next clip of the video game comes with this description. I've developed a new condition. I'm also not very good at video games. This clip begins in the level called Discarded Originals. In the level, Garfield goes through a graveyard before reaching these 3 headstones, each of them meant for one of the subjects in Ferone's lab: Augustus Caesar, Gilbert Godfrey, and Ronald Reagan. When our character clicks on the Augustus one, we are shown text that says Augustus wasn't the chosen one and that Ferone discarded him. But when Garfield chooses Gilbert Godfrey, this happens.
Oh god, it's Gilbert Godfrey, looking like Hugh Hefner's balls.
Now, didn't those shoes look familiar? They were black sneakers, and they looked to be the same pair that our character Max's stepdad found in the buried lockbox. These shoes could be a weapon against whatever cosmic horror Ferone is working with. But after Garfield defeats it, our video ends. Well, I'm going to cheat a little. This Ugu that was referenced in the video game happens to be the password to the Ferone website, so let's go back there. Typing
he
in
figured out a
Ugu
password
into
for the
site
website.
will bring you this. First thing you'll notice is the video that begins to play, but we'll pass over it because our main character will also play it in a future video. But scrolling down, we can listen to the soundtrack from the cartoon by clicking a link. Following it takes us to the entire track list. After vibing to the opening theme song, if we listen through
That
the
song is a
rest,
jam.
we can tell that the last few songs are strange. Take a listen.
Big Monday, spaghetti, John Arbuckle, Jack Benny, shipped those corpse to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. Gilbert Garfield. Yeah, I'm Gilbert.
Doing my mods.
Meow, 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 meow. I hate Mondays, eat spaghetti, the John Arbuckle, Jack Benny, shipped Otis corpse to Abu Dhabi. Great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert. Gilbert Garfield.
Sounds like a white person on acoustic guitar version.
The original of bread. Strict cat meow 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 meow.
This sounds like music Nitro and Misfit will listen to.
Meow 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 meow.
Hater. Melvin Troy might like that kind of music too, actually. What a jam. Lyman doing the bad date.
A favorite dream is rendering an operatic aria in famed La Scala in Milan, or sightseeing along the Grand Canal in Venice. St. Mark's Square is alive with pigeons at each
What the hell is this? I don't remember this on the... He must have found these on his own.
investigates the romance of a ride in a gondola. Florence is the highlight of any visit, whether strolling along the Ponte Vecchio with Richard shops, or seeking out the treasures of the art world, the masterpieces of centuries past.
I like how I'm holding my hand to my ear even though I'm wearing a headset.
Beautiful Florence, like the eternal city that is Rome, where the ecclesiastical splendor of the Renaissance completely enthralls the imagination.
Sounds like an Italian tour, tourist video.
dome of St. Peter's, rising upward like a heavenly Christ. From the topmost pinnacle,
4 apartments across from you burned up and you didn't hear shit about it? Holy fuck. You didn't smell anything burning either?
the play of the fountain. Fountain, it seems, in every square, every turn, every street. Fountain, and the romance that is Rome. With the backdrop of the Arch of Constantine.
What the hell is the point of this? Oh, not in your building, but across from the same complex. Damn.
From the earliest edges of recorded time, people have sought to make more of their lives than satisfying the everyday necessities of food and drink, clothing and shelter. The universal desire for something beautiful, something ordered and in good taste.
Knocked out watching body cam footage. Oh
The
shit.
architecture, the art, sport, the various...
How long does this go on for?
In these designs for living, there are impressive parallels everywhere.
Odie's Trip. Oh god, this is like nails on a chalkboard. Holy fuck. Just why? Oh, come on. Why do I subject myself to stuff like this? Sounds like a fucking backmasking shit.
Alright, so there is definitely codes hidden in these tracks. Listening to the song Finley's Breeze, we can hear a rhythmic instrument play in a beat. But listening more closely reveals that it isn't in the same pattern through the track. Immediately my mind started writing down dashes and dots in case this was a Morse code.
Oh god.
It would also make sense there is a Morse code hidden somewhere.
See, this is where ARGs lose me. I'm not gonna fucking analyze audio and shit like that.
Morse code. So after some investigating,
That's why
I
never
believe I had
passed
found the code within the
Scroll
song.
Keepers Academy.
Amplifying
with,
the track
Ouija Max
reveals a
Detritus
slight heartbeat-like sound that is layered under the
just don't have the
original
time
track
or dedication for
within
this kind of
every
stuff.
use of the instrument. Try to hear it.
Yeah, I hear like a thump. Yeah, it does sound like a heartbeat. He's right about that. Okay.
See what I mean? It's very faint. But I went through the whole track with pen and paper and wrote down a dash if the heartbeat was missing and a dot if the heartbeat was present. The final code, when decrypted, came out as mostly gibberish, so it's probably an error on my part. That's the beauty of Morse code. If you fuck up one dot or dash, the whole thing crumbles. But what I managed to get from the code were the first two
We've
words
evolved
in the
past Morse
message,
code.
I am. Next on the album is Lyman Doing the Bad Date, which when listening closely seems to be an old travel brochure from Italy that is trying to get people to come visit. But at the end the tape says things that are very cult-like regarding the meaning of life and higher powers controlling humans. it's your standard red flags to visit anywhere.
Okay,
Lastly,
so that's why that
in
was
Odie's
important.
trip, I have no idea what's happening in this song.
Yeah, that was fucking annoying.
The only things we know about Odie is that he's been shot and he's been shipped to Abu Dhabi. So maybe these are the sounds of another laboratory that's based in Abu Dhabi. I don't know, but you can take a listen and let me know down below if you hear anything specific. And that's the Gilbert Garfield soundtrack. I'm sure there are more codes hidden within it, but these are the ones that I found personally. And I know other channels have been playing this ARG, so maybe they have decoded different answers, so let me know down below. Going back to the main YouTube channel, we can see that our main characters have captured that video that was on the website about the history of Ferone Productions in an attempt to preserve it. So let's take a look and try to learn more about this Italian company.
Ferone Productions was founded in 1903, but the ideas at its core have been around for centuries. Emerging on the scene in Italy as a sponsor for Italian cyclist Rodolfo Muller during the first Tour de France, Foglia del Ferone began putting on plays at the Teatro Anatomico. Their production of Uomo e Superuomo by Giorgiano Bernardino Sia opened to rave reviews. He was friends with Francis Galton, but the enlightened former Empire of Rome and the humanitarian ideal of imperial peace. Pax Romana, Pax Augusta, which, today when we team up with talented comedians, to them, humanity, and better.
So that was quite the jumbled mess of a history video. Ferone seemed to have started out like just any other regular show business, putting on plays and just naturally advancing into television. However, the video quickly mentions the company's beliefs in ancient Rome, and how they believe that some global order should control everything. But the video gave us two phrases that stand out the most: Pax Romana, which is Latin for Roman peace, and Pax Augusta,
it is pretty
which
loud.
is a reference to the rule of Caesar,
But then this guy
and a
speaks
long
so
period
fucking
of
quiet.
peace and stability that Rome had under his rule. If we tie Ferone's beliefs with what we know about them, then perhaps their involvement with the CIA has more to do with creating a new Pax Romana by genetically engineering a new emperor. They already tried once by using Julius Caesar's DNA, which failed and was discarded. The next video on the YouTube channel gives us an update on Max, which doesn't seem to be very good.
Oh shit. Scratching his nuts.
John Arbuckle, Jack Benny, ship 34 to Abu Dhabi, great act, what do you call it? I'm Gilbert.
Without shitting myself.
Clearly our main character has gone into a dark place to follow the breadcrumb path to Ferone, while also mocking how I look when I was putting this video together.
Emperor Ninja banned the.
But let's look at some things in this quick
Doge
video.
pusher.
Notice
from
anything
earlier.
on the desk? McDonald's. Now who else have we seen eating McDonald's? Greg Truth.
Greg Truth.
Now I'm not saying they are the same character because that wouldn't make any sense since the two have been in Twitter battles.
His long lost father.
But let's examine how these two could be related. We know that Max has a stepfather, and we know that Greg is clearly divorced and isn't in contact with his son. Max uploads the next level of the video game titled Friday. In this new level, the game switches from a platformer to a top-down RPG, where we are told that Odie and Gilbert Godfrey are added to the party with Garfield. In this first encounter, we
looks
see the
fucking
trio
terrifying.
fight a homunculus, which, if any of you are Full Metal Alchemist
Homunculus.
fans,
Oh,
you
shit,
know
I
is a
didn't notice that.
man-made human through science and experiments. And the game is clearly referencing the fact that Ferone is creating homunculus at their company. After the party makes it to the
Bernard, you
U.S.
missed out on
acres
a lot
in
of
wine
weird
country,
shit.
California, there they meet a rabbit called Sheldon, which is probably the name of an agent at the wine country company office in the real world. Garfield is a dick to him before he enters the building behind Sheldon. There he enters the video game version of the lot that our main character's stepfather visited. There he goes and speaks to the cat character named Orson, but in a couple of frames the game flashes this over the name Orson, our son. After insulting the pig, Garfield enters the next building where he returns to the lot. This time the box Max's stepfather found is there and contains a battle axe. Our character equips it on Odie before leaving the building. After leaving the vineyard, the party encounters a new creature called a T-Ghost. After defeating it, the screen goes static before the creature disappears. After the encounter, the party waits for a bus to come across the water,
being on those drugs
where a
while
new
watching
encounter
this.
begins. The bus is called the John Bus and is a mix of a bus and John Arbuckle. During the fight, Garfield uses an attack called Monday, which summons a medallion with the Egyptian god of Ra on it.
Oh, that was Ra
Then
too,
Odie
huh?
gets killed immediately by one attack, and then Gilbert Godfrey uses a time beam to do an enormous 999 points of damage. Lastly,
Yo, Gilbert
Garfield
Godfrey.
tells the bus that the party will be traveling to the Flying Egg before the clip ends. Quickly jumping into the next clip of the game, we continue from there, and the game has a panic attack, throwing up a warning for Max to not touch the console and to not breathe. When the game finally loads, the John Bus flies into literally a flying egg in the sky, crashing into the side of it. The game switches from a top-down RPG into a Doom-like first-person shooter, where Garfield meets a homunculus that says, "You're approaching the nexus of the birth." Continuing on through the egg, Garfield meets another creature, which asks if the thinking man was there to save him. Garfield instead attacks the creature and takes an item to get through the next door.
Damn. Garfield's heartless. I think that's a thermometer.
In the last room, Garfield and our player witness a new creature that is some form of Liz from the original comic, followed by the creature giving birth to something before the clip
See, I thought it was a
ends.
thermometer. He says it's giving
The
birth.
final
but
clip from the game comes from the level
thermometer to
called
me.
Monday, but first Max writes this in the description. The ROM file seems to delete itself when I get to this point. I had duplicated the ROM a few times at different checkpoints after the first file rewrite, and most choices don't seem to change much. In fact, for The Weekend, I was only getting different cutscenes as a transition to the level. An illusion of choice. The auto-deleting made capturing difficult on my end, but I rejiggered my setup and got this. I feel like this isn't over though. I don't know whose game I'm really playing. The clip shows the following.
Final level. This is some weird stuff here. baby embryo of Gilbert Garfield. Aww. What an abomination. Yeah, good time to get a snack for Ninja. Happy birthday, Gilbert. Happy birthday, Ronnie. Happy birthday, Augie.
So the game has now explained the origins of Gilbert Garfield. Augustus Caesar, Ronald Reagan, and Gilbert Gottfried's DNA have all been spliced and combined to create Gilbert Garfield, which we saw being born. Garfield is the product of Ferone, the chosen one that is supposed to bring Ferone's Pax Romana to life. Returning to Twitter, we see that the Twitter user named Rose that had trolled Greg Truth was able to recover a hidden video from the Ferone website, which was added to the main YouTube channel. Let's take a look. The video begins by the main character Max showing tweets of Luna, another real-life player of the ARG. Apparently, if we add up all the life counters at the beginning of each level, that was a password to the Ferone Wine Tours page. After putting in that password, we're able to go to the Wine Tours video from the website. Let's take a look.
This is Ferone Water. There's nothing like biting into a fresh from the bursting bushel of grapes.
In this section of the back lot,
Bushel of
everything
grapes,
looks
huh?
slightly foreign, and deliberately so. This is Little Europe.
Nothing like biting into a grape.
That's where they found that guy's name in that frame footage.
After your experience, head to the commissary.
See, I don't have that eye for detail
It's a
anymore.
show. Folks come from far and wide for a little taste of Little Italy.
Well, we can safely say that not too many people are working at the Wine Country office for Ferone anymore. But did you catch that message close to the end of the video? It said, what does RK know about CV? RK must be that random guy that was photographed with an employee of Ferone Productions. Remember? The guy that Greg Truth hunted down, Raphael Cossacks. But who is CV? Before we continue, let's go back to Greg's channel and see what else he has posted. As you will notice, there aren't any more vlogs on the channel. Instead, the videos look very familiar to Grintley on TikTok. And on Twitter, Grintley's videos are being posted under Greg's name. So, where's Greg? Well, here is a testament to how fucking deep this ARG goes. Remember that random news website I just showed? Well, if you look up the Twitter of that journalist Joshua Green, we learn the final date of Greg Truth. He's dead. Recently died on September 22nd. He was found under a vehicle with no driver. Did Ferrone finally take out the person who was trying to expose them? Or could this be the work of Grintley, whose posts are now suddenly popping up on Greg's social media? Or could Grintley actually be a Ferrone agent? He certainly has a lot of footage of Gilbert Garfield that we haven't seen anywhere else, including commercials that would have aired products for the show. So as of right now in this game, our main character Max has been able to find the previous employees of Ferrone Productions, and now can try reaching out to one of them, Raphael Cossacks, which our character vlogs in the next video called The Saga of RK and CV. Let's take a look. The video updates us that followers of our main character on Twitter have already been reaching out to Cossacks, which has only pissed him off because he says his phone is constantly blowing up with texts and calls. Then our character gives Cossacks his phone number, which leads to this voicemail from the former Ferrone employee. This is then followed by another voicemail where Cossacks apologizes and says this.
Fuck you. Tell your little freak goblin friends to leave me the fuck alone. I'm not talking to you about Ferrone, alright? It was a million fucking years ago. Stop clogging up my hotmail. Leave me the fuck alone, you freaks.
His goblin friends, so Tequila Days was involved in this, huh?
Listen, I just want to say I'm sorry for, blowing up on you. It's, it's not me. I got a little hot. I got a little heated because you were fucking, blowing up my Hotmail account. I'm sitting here with 1,000 messages, and I'm trying to figure out which ones are business and which ones are spam and what folders they go in. It's a little, it's a little infuriating, to be honest with you. But, I just want to say, I'm off that Ferrone shit, I don't even know why you're fucking talking to me, alright? I mean, Christy was the star and all that, I was there managing by extension, but, I wasn't the one doing all the shit, so if you want to talk to her, the Bronwynwood now still plays Second Life with her, so... I have her username here. It's you can hit her up at
Did you catch that? Cossacks almost revealed what him and Christy were doing for Ferrone, but catches himself and says all that shit instead. This is followed by our character getting the username to a Second Life account that Christy plays on. Over on Second Life, our character makes an account and reaches out to Christy. Soon they meet in the game where Christy says this.
I haven't talked to Raphael since the 80s. He ghosted me, Yeah, it's awkward history. This may sound crazy, but I'm not sure I want to talk online about that. Would you be willing to meet me in person and keep me anonymous? I think it's time I talk.
Going down in the description, we are told that our main character is already on their
Lithium
way
Queen,
to
if you want a
Christy
snack,
when this video is uploaded. So after meeting with
unless
her,
you might have one in your
Christy gives
room,
an interview where
but
she
go to your
reveals that she
bathroom
was an adult film star in
and
the
look
1980s,
into the mirror,
and her manager
and
was
you'll see
Raphael
the ultimate
Cossacks.
snack.
Cossacks was reached out to and hired by Ferrone Productions to bring Christy onto set. Apparently, before Ferrone was making cartoons for kids, They were shooting adult films. But this
Pussy
is where the
vaginas.
lines begin to cross in this story. Take a look.
So, let me go back a little bit. It was late 88. Rafi came to
Hungry
me
for
and he
lasagna? I
said-
have no idea why, Mr. Fresh.
Yeah, he said he had this amazing new job. It was with a new company that was just breaking into the adult film industry.
This is Farrone,
Yeah, I think it was Italian.
and it had nothing to do with cartoons.
No, this was straight live action pornography, not animation pornography. So.
I love that cat.
Do you need water or something?
It was a 3-day Gonzo Candid Fuckfest of filming.
Did they let you take breaks?
We had like one break a day. It wasn't so bad back then. I think people nowadays are so sensitive. They always want to take breaks. But yeah, you know, I fucked so many men, you know, of all ages. Some of them were definitely famous too.
Like famous porn stars, like Ron Jeremy or something?
Am I totally anonymous right now?
No, we got you. We're going to be using the mosaic filter from...
My voice too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like in the Second Life interview.
Okay. So, one of them was Newt Gingrich.
Oh, God.
It was way before he was famous.
You mean like the politician in California?
Yeah, it was him. I remember when after the fact, I saw him on the news. My jaw hit the floor. I couldn't believe it. Like, I fucked him. The guy who left his dying wife for a new bitch. I mean, a lot of them were politicians. But Newt, I mean, I'll never forget his disgusting birthmarks. I mean, all of them had birthmarks, but his were just the most vile. Okay, so we're supposed to do this face writing scene, right? I go to jump on his head, and he's telling me, honey, don't worry, I can hold my breath for over 15 minutes. And then the producer starts shushing him. The Ferrone ones. Filming ended, and
he's a reptilian.
I tried to reach back out to Rafi, and he wasn't picking up the phone. It was so weird. We just had our highest paying gig yet, and he was nowhere to be found. After that, I stopped getting contract offers, and features, and cameos. Nothing. My line was dry. I wasn't getting anything anymore. Well, okay, so I should say that at the time, I was addicted to cocaine. Rafi, he would feed me bumps like I was on a powder-only diet. After he left, I was forced to go cold turkey. It was a blessing because, I was able to quit that, and I decided not to get another manager after him because
You left porn.
I somewhat left porn, and then I found out I was pregnant, and later the next summer, I gave birth to a beautiful, amazing, perfect baby boy.
Who was the father?
I don't know. I mean, I was known as the queen of cream pies, or the queen pie. I, had so much in me all the time. It could have been anyone's. You'll never know.
Okay.
And then Ferrone took him. I knew it was them. I recognized the men that came into my house that night.
They're the people who said, don't talk about him being...
Let me just say, I am blessed that I have the lithium queen and not the cream pie queen.
Able to hold his breath during face writing?
Yep, it was the same people at the Gonzo Candid Film Fest of filming that told Newt, stop talking about holding your breath so much. It was the same people. They stole my baby.
So this is a cartoon that Farrone makes. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything about this TV show. He sounds familiar. Is that Gilbert Gottfried? Is he that Jewish stand-up comedian? Yeah, no, I fucked him too.
Wait, when? During the...
Yeah. It's all a blur, but I definitely fucked him right under the hot lights.
Of the Ferrone production?
Yeah. Super weird birthmarks. But, you know, he doesn't yell as much in person. Wait,
I'm sorry. What?
what was that date? July 11th, 1989?
Right, Ninja. Who would even admit it's a fucking Gilbert Gottfried? Imagine the sounds.
That's when my baby was born.
So there's the big plot twist. The baby that Ferrone kidnapped was born.
Alright, so let's first talk about
same
who
day that it's
Ferrone
mentioned in
was
the
have
cartoon.
come onto set with Christie. As she said, lots of politicians, including Newt Gingrich, would be in these films. But she keeps mentioning that they all had very obvious birthmarks. Not to mention that the Ferrone producers apparently had some sort of control over Newt Gingrich
A hatchet man.
by telling him to hush up about being able to hold his breath, which is really weird.
Wait, let me go back. The paper behind her. Where? Let's go back a little bit here. Let's
Who
see.
Ferrone was have come onto set with Christie. As she said, lots of politicians, including Newt Gingrich, would be in.
Paper behind her on the left.
Alright, so let's first talk about who Ferrone was have come.
I kind of see what you're talking about. Like that kind of looks like the hair, and that kind of looks like a hatchet. I see what you mean. That almost does look like a hatchet man. I see it. Holy shit.
Come onto set with Christie. As she said, lots of politicians, including Newt Gingrich, would be in these films. But she keeps mentioning that they all had very obvious birthmarks. Not to mention that the Ferrone producers apparently had some sort of
Right?
control over Newt Gingrich by telling him to hush up about being able to hold his breath.
So the
which
Queen of
is
Cream Pies
really weird.
is a juggalette confirmed.
We also learned that one of the famous people that filmed
good old
with
Christie
Christie
vaginas.
was Gilbert Gottfried, who also had birthmarks.
Imagine those eyes staring into your face while riding on top of you, whispering sweet nothings into your ear. If I could do a Gilbert Gottfried impression, I would, but I can't. But just imagine it, Berninja. I know you're thinking about it right now.
Which leads us to the big reveal at the end of the video. That important date that was highlighted in the cartoon for us earlier in my video was a day of birth for Christie's son, whose father is unknown, and the child taken by Ferrone. So let's quickly connect this to what we saw in the video game. We saw that something that was taking the form of Liz from the Garfield comic was
He just quotes Iago from Aladdin during the whole session. God, I don't want to picture this.
Giving birth to a creature.
Let's keep going.
And in
for
the
fuck's
last
sake.
level, we saw that Ferrone scientists were manipulating the embryo before the child was born. Could all of that be referencing this adult film production at Ferrone? Christie does say that everything she filmed was erased when she was done. So what if the adult filming was just a front for some sort of breeding operation so Ferrone could do more research on manipulating embryos in the mother? But also remember that the last clip of the video game told us that Ronnie, Augie, and Gilbert were born. So that leaves the question, well, who is Christie's son, and why were they taken? I want to go back to the Ferrone website, which is constantly changing at this point of the ARG.
Far! God, Mr. Fresh, oh my Why'd you have to add the squirt?
Now, when going to it, the website has somewhat been restored, and on the front page there is a single panel of a Gilbert Garfield comic. Downloading it reveals the entire strip, which appears to be mocking our main character about uploading the HOA camera footage from the night he blacked out. Also, the winery password has been changed, so there must be new secrets hidden somewhere on here now. But let's go back to the YouTube channel and look at that camera footage that our main character got from that strange night.
Oh yes, the HOA footage. I'm molting! Oh shit. So he thinks that was his friend Austin who originally sent him the Gilbert Garfield tape. Oh snap. Oh, the disturbing video.
So could it really have been Austin that left the message for our character, the college student that first started this entire ARG? Could Austin actually be a Ferone employee? After all, it was him who told our character where to get the Gilbert Garfield clips. And it was Austin who asked our character for help on their college capstone project. Could all of that been a lie? Also, Austin is wearing a Hentai Haven sweater in this photo. You know, Christy mentioned a lot of adult film sites in that video. While she says it's all been erased from the internet, I was still curious. So I looked up her adult film name on all those adult websites.
Oh, of course she did. Looking up Christy Vaginas
and
on
got
Pornhub,
nothing.
huh? You
So at
horny
least
old
she's
dope.
telling the truth there. I'm just happy there wasn't an adult film filmed with ARG clues on one of these sites I would have to try and edit around.
Sure. Oh,
At this point in
Krispy
the
Kreme
ARG, I was
pies.
at crossroads. Like I said before we dove into this rabbit hole, I've been playing this ARG since July, and every time I've said, okay, now let's make a video, a new part of the game comes out. So, do I wait a little longer for the next part in the ARG and we go on? Or do we stop and watch this last video and talk about the Grintley TikTok account? Well, I'm making the executive decision to end this internal nightmare. But let's go to the most recent video on the channel, which is titled, What Austin Sent Me. In the description we get this from Max. Austin sending me this after the public discovery of Christy Vaginas was very off-putting and very edgy even for him. I'm not sure what his goals are. He hasn't responded to me asking what he wants. I wish I could contact him. Now this video does have some gory scenes that I'll try to censor, but you'll notice that our character Max has already done that to parts of the video. So I'll let it run first and then we'll take it apart. But brace yourself.
This is fucked. This is fucked right here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. I heard that this baby was born via the C-section, which is short for cesarean. And now many people think this is named after Cesar Romero. And he would bend over and have these boy toys throw orange slices directly into his ass. And they call this the cutting room floor, where they also left half the scenes in the big sleep. And so now, when you celebrate birth, the family can focus on blowing out the candles instead of blowing out the vagina.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to fit into the cartoon show we've seen earlier. First off, this is taking place in a hospital or laboratory. Gilbert Garfield is performing a C-section on a woman. C-section clearly being a reference to Julius Caesar, because the C in C-section stands for cesarean. This is all convenient that Austin sent this when Christy just explained that she became pregnant at Verone. But I doubt this is meant to be her, because at the end, Garfield tosses the newborn into a toxic waste barrel. As it goes on, we get this censored image that says lewd animation of Mussolini's corpse being masturbated onto by Gilbert Garfield's penis.
What the heck?
Then we get one that says black and white film in a dark room of a doctor being shot in the head.
Jesus.
40s, World War II maybe, unsure. The next one to pop up says 70s looking film of CIA agents getting stabbed in the face with what seems to be medieval spears. The next one says graphic voyeur film shot through a window. Appears to be an older Cesar Romero.
Joker costume is discarded in corner.
Joker costume discarded in corner. Black and white.
Was Cesar Romero really into that shit?
Then the last one says candid footage of Gaddafi's execution, sodomy with bayonets. Yeah, I don't know where to start with all this. I guess we at least see more clues pointing at World War II. And Italy was an Axis power with Mussolini as their fascist leader.
Yeah, Mussolini was a horrible fascist, but he had a hell of a jawline.
Involved with Mussolini's death? But what does Gaddafi have to do with Verone? For those of you playing the home game, Muammar Gaddafi was the leader of Libya in the Middle East after he led a revolution in the 60s and 70s. By all accounts, Gaddafi was practically the Middle Eastern version of Hitler, who believed in extreme nationalism and socialism for his country. He ruled until 2011, when the Arab Spring began and the Libyan civil war broke out. To avoid an hour-long history video, Gaddafi was captured by the rebels, and just like in Star Wars, they drug him into the street, pulled out their iPhones, and then proceeded to stab the ruler up the ass with knives and bayonets. But the theme song for the show says they shipped Odie's body to Abu Dhabi, which while in the Middle East is not Libya. So I don't know, maybe Verone has also had a hand in overthrowing this leader as well as Mussolini. So before we stop here tonight, let's go back to Twitter and see what other players have found so far. Honestly, this one blows my mind and I didn't even know how to decipher this clue. Apparently in a single frame of that last video Austin sent, there is a spectrogram, which is an audio layer that reveals this clue in the frame. Garfield Sentence Level 1 Part 5. This is referencing a free online flash game for little kids to learn how to write sentences. Going to that website and going to that level reveals the code they are siblings, which happens to be the password to the new Verone Truth's website's contact page. Entering that part of the site shows us this. At first we get another comic strip, but hovering over the image reveals a link back to YouTube. Clicking on the comic strip takes us to that viral video called Pinky the Cat, which is that old viral video of the orange cat going fucking sicko mode on the leash. The obvious reference is not hard to miss. The words on the website also say contact us, contact him. Well, I think Max takes that advice and decides to text Austin's brother, Dion. So hopefully Dion can give Max and us some insight on what is happening to Austin. The very last thing I want to look at before we wrap up tonight is this TikTok account called Grintley. Whoever this is watching Max's online movements, and definitely has access to a lot of Ferrone footage from the Gilbert Garfield show,
TikTok account no longer
which leads me to believe that this is one of those Ferrone agents we know exists. Going to Grintley's Twitter, we see all the posts he has put onto TikTok, but I want to look at these two posts that look to be from an episode of Gilbert Garfield that Max didn't have. Take a look.
Would be perfect, you could tell that at a glance, unless of course we ran into
I'm just taking stock of myself as a doctor, because I do feel like I'm really just getting started.
Well, in the first one, we got obvious imagery from inside the Ferrone lab. And in the second one, we get a line from the ant saying that Ferrone will take away your child, which connects to the video Austin sent to Max and the story Christy told.
Poor Christy vaginas.
Next, on their Twitter, we get this image of a hand with the pinky being shot off. At first, this doesn't seem like much, but I believe this is what proves that Grintley is running the Ferrone Truth website, constantly changing passwords on it to halt Max and our ability to learn more about Ferrone. And that's because in this image, the pinky is popping off the hand. And in that contact page of the Ferrone website, we got that hidden link to a viral. Lastly, on Grintley's Twitter, I want to look at the website link in the bio, f4rr.1. Following this takes you to this website, which is a codebreaker's wet dream. First, there is this paragraph of code that illustrates an image of Grintley's profile picture. Second, there are these symbols to the right that make up a logo for Grintley if you look closely.
Block was recently added. What the hell is this? See, none of this is around anymore, so this is all
Beneath
new
those
to me.
is a pixel image of a man standing by a car under a sign that says Ferrone. And beneath that is this tiny link that when clicked takes you to a catalog of images of Gilbert Garfield in the same art style. Scrolling down, there is a bold company logo for Ferrone, so I'm really certain now that this character is a Ferrone operative. And for one final cliffhanger for this video, clicking the original image of Grintley's website brings us to yet another password protected page, which I'm guessing is a password that hasn't been revealed yet in the ARG. So who is Grintley? Well, we definitely know they work for Ferrone, but I believe that this is Austin now. Not only that, but Grintley's work has been now uploaded onto the Greg Truth channel. And since Greg is dead, I believe Grintley was the one who silenced him, under the orders of Ferrone, since Greg was the unhinged conspiracist taking on the company. And this whole story with Austin asking Max to discover the original Gilbert Garfield tapes was all a setup for some unknown reason. Could Austin be setting Max up to be silenced like he did to Greg? I've seen a lot of people theorize that Austin has been taken or murdered by Ferrone for giving the tapes to Max, but honestly I think this series is going to get a lot darker than that as it goes on. Normally, I like to theorize everything that is going on at the end of my videos, but this ARG is still going on, and it's definitely going to change by the time this video gets out.
I can't unsee the nutsack nose
And by
now,
the
though.
time this does get uploaded, there'll be a lot more to talk about. So we'll stop here and come back with a part 2 for this ARG. I'm sure a lot of you have questions, and unfortunately without a completed game, I can't give you any straight answers. But as you're watching this, I can guarantee that I am already putting the next parts of the ARG together and working on another video for all of you. It's bizarre, it's disturbing, and it's the most fun ARG I've played since starting this channel. And I'm happy to share that experience with all of you. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content. And if you want to support my channel, you can join my Patreon using the link in the
Valley is pretty
description
dope.
and get your name at the end of the videos like these beautiful souls here.
Fun. I think it's kind of fun myself, actually, Berninja. But that's where I'm going to stop this this part of the Gilbert Garfield stream and pick up the rest on the next one. Bring the kids, it's all fun. Yes, very child appropriate, right, Mr. Fresh? So thanks everybody for sticking around. Baba Booey, I'll get in touch with you about that shirt. And I'm going to go ahead and raid JSN homie Captain Juggalo's still on playing Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm going to go show him some love. And I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy the stream ending screen, Berninja.